Under the quiet night sky, the wind whispers softly through the dense canopy. A thin mist drifts lightly, covering the space with a cold and heavy atmosphere. Only Wang Rong's voice echoes. Sharp, cold, and without hesitation. The Gu family is suspected of participating in Prince Liang's rebellion. Ordered to be investigated. Right at that moment, Gu Jisi was escorted by soldiers. He fought back desperately, struggling and screaming for help in despair. Looking up at Wang Rong, his eyes flashed with resentment mixed with reproach. Words bursting out in anger. Wang Rong, you say our Gu family colluded with Prince Liang. Do you have any proof? It's obvious that you are jealous of the Gu family's wealth, finding an excuse to rob us. Wang Rong sat in his wheelchair looking at Gu Jisi and smirked. Slowly speaking. So what if there's no proof? Prince Liang has rebelled, the world is in chaos. Even Fan Xian, a Jidushi of Yuzhou, dares to call himself a king. Our Wang family is merely acting in accordance with the times. Saying so, he leaned down slightly and lifted Gu Jisi's chin mockingly. Wang Rong, son of Wang Shamquan, Jidushi of Yangzhou. To tell you the truth, if you hadn't broken my leg before, then perhaps today, this disaster might not have fallen upon the Gu family. You were once a notorious playboy. Now you've become a stray dog at my feet. How does it feel, Gu Jisi? Saying so, he violently pushed Gu Jisi down and roared as if venting his anger. One person acts. No one spares them. The Gu family does not respect the imperial decree. The whole Gu family is to be executed on the spot. Gu Jisi, in a daze, kept muttering, "Save me. Save me, Lu Yuru." Lu Yuru was sleeping. Suddenly woke up, eyes wide, calling for Gu Jisi. In Hong heard the commotion and quickly came in to ask about her. "Miss, are you being haunted by a nightmare?" Lu Yuru sat tiredly on the bed, holding her face. "Thank goodness it was just a nightmare. Help me with my makeup." While doing makeup, her mind couldn't focus. At this moment, she could only think. Gu Jisi is a famous playboy in Yangzhou. He wouldn't have anything to do with me in a lifetime. Why would I dream of him? My family is just a small cloth merchant family. I am just a neglected legitimate daughter. It's so strange. Just then, a maid stepped in gently to report. "Miss, old Madam Yi has arrived. Madam is calling you over." Lu Yuru glanced slightly and replied, "I know. Tell my father I'll be right there." She immediately fell back into deep thought with a series of thoughts in her mind. Prince Liang's rebellion, Gu Jisi. It was just a dream after all. She looked at herself in the mirror and comforted herself. Lu Yuru, snap out of it. How to smoothly marry into the Yi family. Marry Yi Shiren. That is the big matter you need to worry about. Father favors the concubine and neglects the legal wife. Mother is sickly and ill. Growing up in such an environment, we understand that we must maintain good relations with everyone, not overstepping any boundaries. Find a suitable person and get married properly. Only a good marriage can win back some dignity for mother in this family. So for many years, I have strived to be a standard gentle lady. Yi Shiren is the person I've chosen. Though he speaks little, he acts reliably. He has been excellent in his studies since childhood. Who knows, he might even earn an official position later. She and In Hong moved to old Madam's place. Her heart still heavy with thoughts. The Yi family has strict rules. They do not despise the poor nor favor the rich to marry him. For the past 7 or 8 years, I've often gone to find the eldest Miss, Yi Yun, to take care of old Madam Yi with her. My coming-of-age ceremony just passed. Old Madam secretly revealed her intention. She gently looked up and smiled, guessing to herself. Today must be the day to discuss the marriage. Arriving and stepping in, Lu Yuru immediately saw Madame Zhang Yuer was also there. She glanced over, but quickly regained her confident demeanor and walked closer, bowing respectfully to old Madam. Greetings to old Madam Yi. Grandmother Yi spoke up and waved her hand, inviting Lu Yuru. Come here, Yuru, quickly sit down and let's talk. Yuru is indeed such an obedient girl. The most polite one I've ever met. Lu Yuru's father, Lu Xian, spoke up. Yuru, old madam is here today to discuss the marriage arrangement between you and the eldest son of the Yi family. What do you think? Lu Yuru smiled shyly, lowering her head to reply. Yuru will listen to her parents. Lu Xian cut in, getting straight to the point. Then let's decide on it. Old madam. It's just that right now the eldest son is participating in the provincial exam. We don't know when he can return to officially propose to us. I heard the Gu family's son has also reached the age of marriage. His mother is going everywhere to arrange matchmakings for him. If the Gu family comes to propose to our Yuru, at that time neither of our families can afford to offend them. A long night brings many dreams. Old madam must act quickly. Madame Zhang Yuer heard this and spoke up. Marriage proposals are originally the affair of the elders. If the eldest son doesn't return for a while, it doesn't matter. How about letting the head of the Yi family come to propose first? To settle everything and avoid complications later. Old madam closed her eyes and shook her head in refusal. I'm afraid that won't do. My son has a friend who was just appointed as Jidushi of Yuzhou. He went to congratulate him and hasn't returned. Lu Yuru lowered her voice. Is it the Fan family? That sentence made the space seemingly fall into dead silence. Old madam was slightly startled and asked Yuru back. How did you know? Lu Yuru slowly explained. The new Jidushi of Yuzhou. Is it Fan Xian? The other day while drinking tea with the sisters, I accidentally heard about it. At first I didn't believe such a high position as Jidushi could be replaced just like that. Old madam seemed to agree with her words. So that's how it is, you are right. However, Fan Xian has held his position in Yuzhou for 13 years. His foundation is very solid. The previous Jidushi died of illness. Before passing away, he recommended him. That's why he was promoted to Jidushi. Life is truly unpredictable. So the only way is to wait for the eldest son to finish his exams. Only then can we officially come to propose. Time passed. Lu Yuru was sitting in the study writing calligraphy. But her mind was completely on Gujusi. She thought to herself. Jidushi of Yuzhou, Prince Liang's rebellion, Gujusi. His words kept echoing in her mind. Lu Yuru, save me. She realized that the new Jidushi of Yuzhou is indeed named Fan Xian. Is this ultimately a coincidence or a premonition? Yin Hong walked in and spoke gently. The flowers in the garden are blooming beautifully. I cut a few branches to bring back some luck for you, miss. The marriage between you and the eldest son of the Yi family will definitely go smoothly. Fragrant flowers and sweet fruits, Lu Yuru replied softly. I hope so. Yin Hong arranged the flowers and asked. Miss, did you know that just now when I went to the garden to cut flowers, I heard some maids in concubine Zhang's room talking. A few days ago, the Gu madam went to the Lu residence. I don't know if it was for a matchmaking meeting. Hearing this, Lu Yuru was startled, slightly panicked and started imagining things in her heart. The Lu family, Yin Hong kept rambling on. The young ladies in Yangzhou City. I'll avoid the playboy of the Gu family like a plague. Whoever marries him would truly be unlucky. Lu Yuru had a name flashing through her mind. You see, without waiting, Lu Yuru spoke up hastily. Yin Hong, go tell madam right now. I must go to the Lu residence and beg them to agree. She told herself, if that was truly a prophetic dream. Yusi absolutely cannot marry Gujusi. Chen Sun, best friend of Gujusi, the playboy of Yangzhou. Yang Wenchang, best friend of Gujusi, the playboy of Yangzhou. Gujusi touched Chen Sun and asked annoyedly. Chen Sun, what on earth are you up to? Chen Sun turned back and put his finger to his lips, gesturing to keep quiet. You will know in a moment, Juicy. Don't worry, but Gujusi seemed unable to wait any longer and was about to go crazy. You've been saying that all day. Outside you said you'd tell me when we sneak into the Lu residence. Now we're inside. And you still haven't said anything. Do you want a beating? Su Wenchang touched Gujusi's shoulder and spoke softly. Calm down, let me explain. We brought you here to see your wife. But those words didn't make Gujusi's mood any better. Instead, it made him annoyed, tightening his grip around Su Wenchang. Where did my wife come from? Why don't I know anything? Su Wenchang struggled and forced out. Your parents came to the Lu residence a few days ago. Didn't you know? Gu Jisi was angered by their words, not knowing if the two were joking or telling the truth, and decisively walked away, making Chen Sun helplessly watch him and say, Don't go, since we're already here, you should at least take a look before leaving. Su Wenchang waved his hand watching Gu's back. Juicy and continued Chen Sun's words. That's right. First confirm what she looks like. Gu Jisi turned his head and replied. Even if she looks like a fairy, it's no use. Suddenly a voice echoed. See you, what's the matter you came to see me for? Why are your eyes so swollen? Chen Sun and Su Wenchang hurriedly pulled him away. Someone is coming outside. Lu Sushua's mood was unstable, crying and complaining to Lu Yuru. The Gu parents came to our house twice a couple of days ago. Called me into the main hall, looked at me a few times, praised me a few words, and gave me a jade bracelet. Then told me to step back. Lu Yuru gently reached out to touch Lu Sushue, asking softly, What are their intentions? That question drilled deep into Lu Sushue's sorrow, making her sob. I don't know, but my parents guess they came to talk about marriage for Gu Jusi. The Gu family has great power. I'm really afraid my father will agree because of money. If I really have to marry Gu Jusi, how am I supposed to live? Lu Yuru quickly calmed Lu Sushue's spirits. I understand your pain. If it were me who had to marry him, I would immediately jump into the lake and commit suicide. Gu Jusi stood nearby, eavesdropping on this whole conversation, and clenched his fists, feeling provoked. Jumping into the lake, you were ready to marry me. Why did it turn into not wanting to marry? Su Wenchang stood nearby and spoke, listening to their words. The one crying so miserably is your wife. Then Chen Sun also observed carefully and spoke up. That person is probably the legitimate daughter of the Lu family, famous for betraying his primary wife. That is Lu Yuru. She turned to hold Lu Sushue's hands and gently laid out a plan. How about this? Let's go find out his personality and do the exact opposite of what he likes. Force him to cancel the engagement. Lu Sushue hesitated and asked, Force him to cancel? Lu Yuru seriously explained her sharp reasoning. For instance, I heard Gu Jusi is still unmarried. Mostly because he has high requirements for a wife. He hates those noble ladies who follow strict rules, especially those who love reading sages' books. Go home and read the 4 books and 5 classics carefully. Especially books advising people on how to behave, memorize them well. Tomorrow when you meet him, just keep advising him constantly. The 3 of them stood in the corner. Ko 9 tu koi mim to be hung Thursday. Gu Jusi smiled, looking intrigued. Beside him, Su Wenchang and Chen Sun said in unison. This girl is interesting, Lu Yuru continued. I also heard he hates fake girls, especially those who actively approach him. He hates them even more when you meet him later. You should speak with a gentle voice. If he says something harsh, you should cry. Don't speak too reasonably like a normal person. You must speak unclearly. Act unclearly. Only knowing how to demand money from him. Moreover, he might not like strong floral scents. I'll find you a strongly scented pouch. When you meet him, carry it on your handkerchief and wave it around in front of him. Remember to do exactly this, Su Wenchang marveled. This girl is really interesting. If she really investigated you thoroughly, you might die a more miserable death. Chen Sun agreed next to him. Yes, very miserable. Lu Sushue, feeling unstable, asked. What if it gets to that point and he still wants to marry me? That question made Gu Jusi unable to hold back. He appeared and said loudly. Rest assured, I definitely won't marry you. His sudden appearance startled Lu Yuru and Lu Sushue, making them turn their heads to look. Lu Sushue tightly grabbed Lu Yuru's hem, her voice trembling. What did you just say? Which courtyard servant are you? Why are you here? Lu Yuru didn't say anything, just staring at him, thinking to herself. It's Gu Jusi, if the news of his appearance In the inner courtyard of the Lu residence gets out. The one who suffers the loss is still Lu Sushue. Gu Jisi confidently spoke up. Of course I am. What servant would dare to barge into the inner courtyard like this? Lu Yuru coldly ordered aloud. Drag him out quickly. Throw him out of the residence. That sentence stunned Gu Jisi. Pointing at himself in disbelief. Then a big guy walked over, grabbed his collar and yelled. So brave, daring to trespass into the young lady's courtyard. Chin-sun continuously denied it. That's not how it is. Gu Jisi panicked and said quickly, what are you standing there for? After being chased outside, the three were panting heavily. Like they just went through a wrestling match. Su Wenchang panted while speaking out of breath. That girl is really too timid. Calling for people without saying a word. Running away truly tired me to death. Gu Jisi glanced back, replying, her, scared? She was obviously pretending. Afraid we would ruin her reputation. Lu Yuru is a black lotus. Pure on the outside. But could be a maze on the inside. More scheming than Lu Sushue, Chin-sun looked over. No wonder I said how could she marry him. Gu Jisi was startled and puzzled. Asking again to confirm. Who is she marrying? Chin-sun answered. He is the head of the Bailu Academy, Madame Yi. Has long declared that her daughter-in-law must be Lu Yuru. Didn't you know about this? Gu Jisi suddenly became thoughtful. Someone with an ordinary background. Unremarkable appearance. Personality just following the rules. Apart from having many schemes. There's nothing outstanding about her. And yet she gets to marry someone accepted as a student. By Grand Scholar Su Wen. Everyone knows. His future path is very bright. But what I hate the most are hypocrites. That is Yi Shiren. He's a fake lotus paired with a white lotus. Then as if untangling a knot. A confident smile bloomed in his heart. All right, I agree to this marriage. Gu Jisi looked over at Chin-sun and ordered. Find someone to follow Lu Yuru. Chin-sun was confused by this action and asked. Why stalk her? But suddenly it was like an electric shock ran through his head. And he immediately understood Gu Jisi's intention. He tightly grabbed Gu Jisi's shoulder and asked pressing, Juicy. Are you interested in Lu Yuru? Gu Jisi smacked Chin-sun on the head, shouting loudly. In denial, what nonsense are you talking about? Am I the kind of person with such poor taste? Let me tell you. Even if all the women in the world died, I still wouldn't marry her. Su Wenchang stepped forward and questioned. Then why did you tell Chin-sun to stalk her? Gu Jisi looked straight ahead and replied somewhat arrogantly. She made us lose face today. Are we just going to let it go like that? She is now Yi Shiren's fiancée. Yi Shiren oppresses us, she slapped our faces. If we don't fight back, are we still men? Su Wenchang pulled Chin-sun up and they said together. Then how are we going to deal with her? Gu Jisi remembered Lu Yuru's words. I understand your pain. If I had to marry him, I would immediately jump into the river and commit suicide. His heart felt like dancing for achieving his goal. He fanned himself with the folding fan in his hand and leisurely replied, What she did to me, I will do the exact same back to make her uncomfortable. Ben Nai Nok Nu Dang Goi The Hoa Van Len Shik Cha No. Yuru was sitting and embroidering patterns on a small blanket. She smiled and said to herself. With Juicy's personality, he will definitely not marry Siyu. But the connection between him and me has been formed. That day I shouldn't have acted so hastily. I wonder when Yi Shiren will return. The Yi family is a scholarly clan. Perhaps they will give me some face. And won't make things difficult for me. Yin Hong walked in holding a thick stack of documents and called out loudly. Miss, have you heard? The master of the Gu family was so angry that he chased and beat the eldest son on the street. Lu Yuru asked softly, What's wrong? Yin Hong stepped forward, placed the documents on the table and replied. What else could it be? The eldest son of the Gu family proclaimed everywhere that his marriage affairs will be decided by himself. The master was so furious he grabbed a stick and chased after him. Yuru smiled, closing her eyes to feel her heart. Although Gu Jisi usually behaves somewhat loosely, he's not inherently bad. On the contrary, he often causes funny incidents like him. Even if he is a bit troublesome. If he really ended up like in the dream. Seeing Naknu's thoughtful expression, and Hong observed and gently asked. Miss, are you bored? Or should we go out to buy some makeup? Naknu looked up at the suggestion. Then let's go out for a walk. And conveniently buy some items for mother's room. Later, Lu Naknu attentively listened to the advice. This type, whether in quality or color, is very good. And very popular with customers. Although it's a bit expensive, it's worth every penny. She looked down at the item in her hand. Her eyes gentle, her voice soft. It is indeed very good. Suddenly, Ko Q2's voice echoed from outside. Naknu, my dear sister. And Hong quickly turned around, stepping in front of Naknu, frowning. And retorted. These men. Why did they come to a place for women? Following behind were Trantam and Duong Van Suong. Ko Q2 fanned himself and called her name. Naknu, my dear sister. Naknu didn't want to talk and coldly turned away. And Hong, let's go. Trantam quickly blocked them. Where are you going? Duong Van Suong next to him smiled at her. Don't leave in a hurry. Naknu helplessly uttered 2 words. You guys. Ko Q2 got straight to the point. Naknu, are you buying makeup? Naknu didn't reply but looked at the shop owner and asked. Boss, male customers coming here. Isn't very appropriate, is it? The shop owner could only force a smile and replied, Young Master Ko. This is a makeup shop. You coming here, my customers. Ko Q2 raised his voice, showing full determination. Today I will buy all the makeup here. He looked at her and said generously. Naknu, whatever makeup you want, just take it. I will gift it to you. And Hong hurriedly intervened and reminded him instead of answering. Young Master Ko, you should watch your words. My lady is a girl from a decent family. Pure and innocent. You acting like this. Ko Q2 leaned down slightly, asking coldly, how am I? Tell me. Naknu looked at him with teary eyes. Smiling faintly while secretly thinking. Today Ko Q2 came here to make trouble. The urgent thing right now is that I must protect my reputation. She acted pitiful, tears welling up in her eyes, her voice trembling, Young Master Ko. I don't know what business you have looking for me today. We are as different as sky and earth. We originally have no connection. If my family has offended you in any way, please forgive us, Young Master Company. A great man doesn't hold grudges against petty faults. Please forgive my family. And don't make things difficult for me anymore. Tam watched this scene and suddenly felt remorseful inside. Are we being too much? Duong Van Suong wasn't much better. We made her cry again. Ko Q2 gritted his teeth, spelling out every word, Lu Naknu. You really know how to put on an act. Seeing this, she sniffled, Young Master Ko, please spare my life. Seeing the tense atmosphere, Trantam spoke up, Q2. Why don't we let it go? Ko Q2 angrily pointed at her. What do you know to let it go? This woman. Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind. His eyes softened and became sparkling. His tone much gentler as he looked at her. Naknu, my dear sister, why are you crying? I'm not making things difficult for you. I just like you. Naknu was startled and spoke up. What? Young Master Ko, please stop joking. Ko Q2 stepped closer to her, expressing his feelings. I'm not joking. It's love at first sight. And deeper love at second sight. In this life, I won't marry anyone else but you. Naknu looked up at Ko Q2 confessing his feelings. Young Master Ko, I apologize for what happened last time. Today you have made things difficult for me, consider it even. Can you please give me some face? In her heart, she wanted to scream out loud. I lost. In terms of shamelessness, I truly cannot beat Ko Q2's day. Ko Q2 didn't seem to want to let her go. Moving even closer to her and whispering. Didn't you say you'd jump into the lake if you married me? I'm going to propose to you right now. Hurry up. Time waits for no one. Naknu, my dear sister. Naknu trembled all over, stepping back, Young Master Ko. Do you insist on me jumping into this river? To be satisfied? He replied simply, not really. Ko Q2 felt somewhat relieved inside. Seeing her trembling from being teased by me. Earnestly admitting her fault. It seems I'm not that angry anymore. Then he leaned down again to match Naknu's eye level and uttered a somewhat narcissistic sentence. But you have to say one thing. Deepthian is a terrible person. Nothing compared to Kokyu-2's handsome demeanor, outstanding talents, and upright character. Naknu froze for a moment at those words, then played along. Young Master Ko is right. Young Master Deep is a terrible person. Nothing compared to your handsome demeanor and outstanding talents. Hearing this, Kokyu-2 was overjoyed inside. With a proud and satisfied expression, that's right. Naknu kept pouring out beautiful words to praise his uprightness. You are an upright gentleman with noble character. Surely you wouldn't make things difficult for a weak girl like me. Kokyu-2 choked up, moved by Naknu's words, then fake coughed to end the conversation. You have a way with words. Let's go, let's go. Naknu bowed her head slightly and called Hong. Let's go. And Hong quickly replied. Yes, Mississippi. Wait, Kokyu-2's high-pitched voice rang out again, wait. In his hand was a box of blush. He looked straight at Naknu and Hong, and the other women present, smiling confidently. Everyone choose a box of blush and put it on my tab. He handed it to her, his voice very decisive. Naknu held the blush box in her hand, took a glance, and as if thinking of something, thought to herself. This is. She blurted out under Hong's curious gaze. It is indeed very good. She thought to herself. The blush box just now. She suddenly looked up at Ko's words. Q2 had quickly noticed her gaze and understood what she wanted. As soon as I entered the door, I saw you staring at this blush box. Go pick a few more boxes. Q2 leaned closer and whispered. Later when you marry Deepthian, please help me take good care of him. After saying that, without giving her time to react, he walked away, not forgetting to loudly call out to Tran Tam and Duong Van Suong, let's go. Naknu stood there stunned, confused by a series of strange actions and words from Kokyu-2. Outside, Tran Tam immediately asked. Why did you give them blush boxes? Kokyu-2 fanned his hand and replied. It's hard to say. Just now, when she suddenly changed her tone and apologized to me, I suddenly felt this girl wasn't too annoying. I just realized teasing her like that didn't seem very decent. Her life isn't easy either. Nothing is easy. Later, at the Gu family mansion, Kokyu-2's father, Master Ko, shouted angrily. This brat doesn't know what's good for him. What does he think I arranged his engagement for? Isn't it because I'm afraid his uncle will drag him into the palace to be recommended? What if he catches the eye of some princess? Would he be able to handle it? Madam Ko. Zhang Nu gently soothed his anger beside him. Master, what Q2 said makes sense. After all, it's his marriage. You vaguely arranging an engagement for him like this, making him marry someone he doesn't like. In the end, it's not a good solution. Please don't be angry anymore. Ko Q2's mother, Madam Ko Zhang Nu. Master Ko. Ko Lang Hoa still hasn't calmed down his anger, turning to Madam Zhang Nu and questioning. Then what is reasonable? Taking him to meet the princess is reasonable? Suddenly, the voice of a subordinate reporting was heard. Master, Madam, we found it. The master and Madam asked in unison. Found what? The subordinate reported. The young master's sweetheart has been found. The madam stood up with a radiant face, asking him to repeat carefully. Q2 has a sweetheart? The master, being more calm, immediately asked to confirm. How do you know Q2 has a sweetheart? The subordinate slowly recounted everything that had just happened. The young master said it himself. He won't marry anyone else but this girl. If this isn't a sweetheart, what is it? Here's the portrait of that girl. The two of them curiously opened it, admiring the portrait. While listening to the story, this girl is the young lady of the Lu family. Lu Naknu, originally from Yangzhou. Although she looks ordinary, she is a typical well-bred young lady. Her character is also very good. The most important thing is that our son likes her. The madam's face grew even more radiant as she spoke. That's right. Go prepare. Follow me to draft the list of betrothal gifts. Tomorrow, the master and I will go propose. Wait, the subordinate continued to provide crucial information. Madam, but I heard a rumor. Word has it that old madam of the Deep family favors this young lady. The marriage between the two families might already be set. The madam gently asked. Is it set? He shook his head and replied, not yet. It's just a rumor. The master remained silent for a while then spoke up. Madam, this matter seems a bit strange. The madam also agreed. It is indeed strange. Q2 has always told me everything. Now there is a girl he likes. But he has never mentioned her to me. Furthermore, she is just an ordinary girl. How do you think they met? The master voiced his opinion. Regarding this proposal, don't say anything to Q2 yet. After all, this girl is the one he said he wouldn't marry anyone else but her. Let's just set it first. This time, we can't let him cause trouble anymore. The madam replied, a proposal is such a big deal. Not telling him about it. It doesn't seem very appropriate. The master reassured her immediately, it's fine. He said it out of his own mouth anyway. Let's just go to the Liu family to understand the situation clearly. If the two families have already said it, then of course a gentleman doesn't steal another man's wife. If it hasn't been said, then it's the Liu family's choice. Master, Ko Lang Hoa and his wife Zhang Nu arrived at the Deep family. The grandmother, old madam of the Deep family, asked. May I ask why the two of you have come here? Ko Lang Hoa spoke up. A few days ago, I heard that your esteemed family has good news. It seems the young lady of the Liu family and the Deep family have arranged an engagement. Is that true? Truong Noyetni stared, thinking to herself. Liu Nok Nu will marry into such a good family. Then her betrothal gifts will all belong to my son later. Although the Deep family's betrothal gifts aren't small, how can their wealth compare to the Ko family's? Then she smiled and spoke up. It's just a rumor. Our Nok Nu and the eldest young lady of the Deep family are close friends. So they are a bit closer, that's all. But regarding marriage, it has never been mentioned. Currently, the eldest son of the Deep family is still taking his exams. How would he have time to talk about these things? Lu Tuen, sitting nearby, forced a smile and chimed in, yes, yes. No engagement has ever been set. Madame Zhang Nu sighed, gathering her courage. To get straight to the point. To be honest, we came here today. We want to propose to the Liu family's young lady for our son. Our Q2. We heard that the Liu family's young lady is gentle, virtuous, smart, and talented. Our son Q2, although not an outstanding talent, is also smart and capable. He and Miss Liu are indeed a perfect match. The madam smiled, her eyes curving like crescent moons, and continued. Our Ko family is a straightforward family. We must show sincerity in whatever we do. If you two agree, this is the list of betrothal gifts from the Ko family. Tomorrow, we will officially bring the betrothal gifts over. Madame Truong Noyetni couldn't help but marvel constantly, her eyes brighter than the night stars. Madame Zhang Nu spoke confidently. If there's anything you're not satisfied with, please just tell us. Whatever we can do, we will definitely do. Madame Truong Noyetni switched from marveling back to a normal state in a split second. She replied slowly. Nok Nu is someone I have treated as my own biological daughter. Money is not the most important thing. The important thing is whether the Ko family's young master is sincere or not. Madame Zhang Nu smiled and confessed. The people in our family are not good with words. Therefore, we can only use gold and silver to show our sincerity. But we absolutely have no intention of insulting the young lady. In one's lifetime, only the things you can actually hold in your hands are reliable, right? She winked to signal Master Ko Lang Hoa. The master understood and immediately added. On the East Street, we also have 5 shops. That will also be included in these betrothal gifts. What do you two think? Truong Noyetni's inner self felt like exploding when such a fat piece of meat was offered right to her mouth. She replied, Master. The Ko family's young master has always been a talented young man. To be able to choose Nok Nu, that is Nok Nu's blessing. Master, what do you think? Lu Tuen was startled and just answered briefly, yes. Looking down, he thought to himself. The Ko couple are good people. If Nok Nu marries into their family, she definitely won't suffer. Then he turned and asked softly, Master and Madam Ko, may I ask what the Ko family's young master thinks about this marriage? In his heart, Lu Tuen told himself. Although Ko Q2 is a bit unrestrained, whether a woman lives well or not depends on whether the man loves her or not. Zhang Nu slowly and gently replied. If my son didn't admire Miss Liu, why would we go through all this trouble? But Madame Truong, Noyat Ni, who was somewhat excited, immediately interjected. Then it's destiny arranged by heaven. A good marriage determined by the matchmaker. Our Nok Nu also said before that the Ko family's young master is handsome, has a straightforward personality, and is a rare good man. Madame Zhang Nu smiled in satisfaction and replied. Then that's wonderful, Master Liu. Tomorrow we will officially bring the betrothal gifts. Truong Noyat Ni agreed immediately without hesitation. Let's do that then. Then tomorrow, I will await your esteemed presence. Later, Madame Truong, Noyat Ni and Lu Tuan were walking in the courtyard. Lu Tuan spoke up. Madam, you should go talk to Nok Nu about this. You are both women, talking about this is more convenient. Truong Noyat Ni smiled and replied. Don't worry, master. The Ko family is like that, they won't let Nok Nu suffer. But with a scheming look in her eyes, she thought. Nok Nu is truly valuable. This matter must be finalized before letting her know. I can't let my good deed be ruined. Meanwhile, Lu Nok Nu was sitting embroidering when she got distracted by the noise. She looked up and asked Hong. Why is it so noisy outside, Hong? Go take a look. Hong replied, yes. Outside, countless betrothal gift boxes were brought in. Hong took a quick survey and then rushed back in panic to report the news. The guards outside said that you have been grounded by the two concubines. I heard that the incident at the makeup shop the other day has reached the two concubines' ears. They said grounding you is just for your reputation. Lu Nok Nu was startled upon hearing this and exclaimed. The two concubines have always acted like kind mothers. But this time they grounded me just because of a joke with Ko. You too? Hong felt something was wrong and asked. But miss, think about it, why did the two concubines suddenly care so much about you? Lu Nok Nu gently stroked her hand embroidered piece and softly replied, probably. They are afraid that there might be a mishap with the marriage to the Deep family. Right? She ordered Hong. Go fetch the little Stonehill record book here. Hong quickly walked away, not forgetting to ask, Miss. Reading again? Lu Nok Nu smiled lightly and replied. Last time at the Deep family, Avan told me that young Master Deep had read this book and liked it very much. I have to keep up. So I'll have something to talk about with him later. As she turned the pages, she asked Hong. When do you think young Master Deep will return? Hong replied gently to comfort her. Don't worry, Mississippi young Master Deep will return soon. Then she whispered in Lu Nok Nu's ear. He will come back to pick you up soon. Lu Nok Nu, startled, turned around to pinch Hong's cheeks. As she resisted. Don't speak nonsense. Suddenly, a knock on the door interrupted the two of them. Hong quickly left, not forgetting to advise. Miss, take a rest. Eat something and then continue reading. Why was lunch prepared so quickly today? Lu Nok Nu looked at Hong's back and nodded, okay. Then Hong returned right next to Lu Nok Nu. She raised her chopsticks to her mouth and whispered, Hong. Why am I so sleepy today? After saying that, she collapsed right at the table, making Hong panic and scream, Miss. Lu Yuru slowly opened her eyes. Looking at the surroundings, she spoke groggily. Where is this? Hong saw this, hurriedly opened the curtain, and said worriedly. Mississippi. You're finally awake. You've slept the whole morning. Lu Yuru couldn't help but rub her forehead, groaning inwardly. My head hurts so much. Meanwhile, Hong continued speaking. Miss, second concubine is here. She said she has something to tell you. She is currently waiting in the hall. Hearing this, Lu Yuru was a little surprised. She immediately replied, Hong, help me wash up. Zhang Yuer gently pushed the lid of her teacup, then drank calmly. Right at this moment, Lu Yuru arrived and called out. Second concubine. Seeing her, Zhang Yuer spoke up. Yuru, I came to tell you something. The Gu family has come to deliver betrothal gifts. Hearing this, Lu Yuru's expression darkened. Feeling like she was struck by lightning, she thought. What? The Gu family? Why would they deliver betrothal gifts? With a trembling voice, she asked, Father. Did he agree? Zhang Yuer replied. He has already agreed. In the next second, Lu Yuru was so shocked she stumbled backward, causing Hong standing nearby to hurriedly catch her. Miss. Seeing her appearance like this, Zhang Yuer couldn't help but console her. Yuru, I know you feel uncomfortable about this. But your father is doing this for your own good. Previously, about you marrying into the Yi family. Your father was actually worried that they would look down on you. Moreover, Yi Shiren's future is very bright. If in the future, he goes to the capital to become an official and finds other opportunities, he might become unfaithful. Then your life would be very difficult. If you go to the capital, across high mountains and long rivers, your father will hardly ever see you again. The Gu family is a powerful and wealthy family. Gu Jusi will not go to the capital. You will securely be the primary wife. Wouldn't you be the one making the decisions at home? The more Lu Yuru heard, the more she trembled in despair. In the next second, filled with anger, she thought. With the Gu family's financial power, they definitely offered a huge sum of money. Marrying off a daughter is of little consequence. So what if they offend the Yi family? Whether it was second concubine grounding me, or that drugged breakfast earlier, they were just afraid I wouldn't agree to this. But how could I be willing? I've waited so many years to be with Yi Shiren, placing all my life's hopes on him. Thinking of Yi Shiren, the image of Gu Jusi suddenly appeared. He smiled gently and said, I'm not joking. I fell in love with you at first sight. The more I see you, the more I love you. In this life, there is no one but you. The more she heard, the more defiant she felt, thinking. Koi kung lai noi boy ta rang ta fi gho ten sung tu bat how. The one that all the noble young ladies in Yangzhou city avoid, Gu Jusi. Lu Yuru's face suddenly turned pale when thinking of this. The image from her previous dream suddenly appeared in her mind. The Gu family was suspected of participating in Prince Liang's rebellion, ordered to be investigated and have their assets confiscated. Anyone who resists will be executed on the spot. In Lu Yuru's train of thought, they say it's for my own good, that I'll live comfortably with mountains of gold and silver later. But what if that dream is true? They say it's for my own good, that I'll live comfortably with mountains of gold and silver. But what if that dream is true? Save me. Right after, Wang Rong's image appeared with the words, Prince Liang has rebelled, the world is in chaos. Even a military commissioner of Yuzhou, like Fan Xian, dares to proclaim himself king. Our Wang family is merely adapting to the times. The Gu family disobeyed orders. The whole Gu household will be executed on the spot. It's still a life. Back then, Gu Jusi was tortured to death. As for Lu Yuru, she suddenly remembered her mother. I'm not afraid of death, but if I die, what will happen to my mother? Can she continue to live? Returning to reality, Zhang Yuer was still trying to persuade her. Yuru, don't overthink. Let alone other things. Previously the doctor said that your mother's illness needs to be treated with rare and precious medicines. If you marry into the Gu family, what kind of treasure can't be found? Madam's illness will definitely be cured. Yuru, think more about your mother. Upon hearing this sentence, Lu Yuru's eyes suddenly widened. Then she hurriedly turned to look at Zhang Yuer. This left Zhang Yuer quite stunned, completely bewildered. Did she discover something? Impossible. How could a 15-year-old girl understand anything? With a gentle voice, Lu Yuru said, Can I discuss this with my mother? Zhang Yuer smiled and replied, Silly girl, your father has already decided. The betrothal gifts have been accepted. What way back do you have? If you refuse this marriage, you won't find a family as good as the Gu family. Since your father and second concubine have already decided, then let it be settled. But as for the Yi family, there must be an explanation. Don't worry about that. I've already sent someone to tell old Madame Yi. The Gu family coming to deliver betrothal gifts so suddenly. No one expected it. Moreover, they are a powerful family. We didn't dare to do otherwise. Old Madame Yi will understand. Lu Yuru's hand suddenly clenched tightly, trembling. However, she still tried to speak in a soft voice. Since second mother handled it so thoughtfully, Yuru is relieved. Then in the next second, she bowed politely and asked right away. Second mother, today is also time for my mother to take her medicine. My heart is unsettled, I want to go take care of her. I wonder if that's all right? Zhang Yue replied. If you don't mind the fatigue, then go see her and take care of her more. Now that your marriage is settled, we don't need to put on an act anymore. Your grounding is also lifted. As soon as she finished speaking, she secretly calculated. Lu Yuru ultimately has to marry into the Gu family. If we can avoid making enemies, then we shouldn't. Meanwhile, Lu Yuru stared at Zhang Yue with a face full of annoyance. In the room, Yin Hong couldn't help but ask worriedly, Miss, what should we do now? What are we going to do? Lu Yuru replied immediately. Call Yin from the outer courtyard over. Tell her to come with me to see my mother. This made Yin Hong a bit curious. Is it the beauty that Miss saved and arranged in the outer courtyard before? Lu Yuru said, yes. By the way, you also go and inquire about the list of betrothal gifts from the Gu family for me. Yin Hong obediently took the order and replied. Yes. Outside the window, the sunlight shone brightly. However, Lu Yuru's heart was filled with despair. Drained of strength, she told herself, it's over. No matter how much I take revenge. No matter what I do, my life is essentially over. As she thought, Lu Yuru felt aggrieved, choking with tears. Tears falling. Outside the manor, sunlight illuminated the whole sky. Lu Yuru carefully supported her mother. Just as she sat down at the dining table, she spoke. Today I heard it's very lively outside. Did the Yi family come to discuss the marriage? Then this matter can be considered mostly settled. I've had someone investigate young Master Yi. He is a good young man. After you marry. Hearing this, Lu Yuru rebutted. It's not. This made her mother extremely curious. What's wrong? Lu Yuru replied. It's not the Yi family, it's the Gu family. Gu Juicy. Hearing this, her face became extremely panicked and confused. Is it that guy who gambles all day, fights, lacks ambition, and causes trouble relying on his family's money? That Gu Juicy? Her mother was so shocked she coughed violently. Then she hurriedly reminded, go find your father quickly. Seeing her mother cough up blood, Lu Yuru couldn't help but say worriedly. Mother. Yin Hong. Go get a doctor quickly. Her mother looked at Lu Yuru in shock and said. He has lost his last shred of decency. This marriage cannot be settled. It cannot be. Under this situation, Lu Yuru could only tear up and explain. Mother, it's useless. This appearance of hers made her mother stare blankly in a daze. Lu Yuru continued speaking. The betrothal gifts have already been sent. What decent family would want to marry a girl whose engagement was broken off? I have no other choice anymore. Her mother cried out in anguish, Mother. It's because Mother is useless and can't help you. Hearing this, Lu Yuru reassured her. Mother, don't overthink it. I'm truly willing. However, her mother naturally knew her very well and said. Willing about what? Over the years, you've only ever spoken of the good things. Never the bad. But have you been living well? How could Mother not know? But Mother couldn't do anything. Only hoping Zhang Yue would take pity. And that by being sensible, they'd treat you better. But now look. She sold you out. While speaking, her mother tightly grasped Lu Yuru's hand, trembling. Even though Lu Yuru was crying in pain, she still tried to reassure her mother. Mother. It's not like that. I really am willing. Actually, Gu Juicy is very nice. He even helped me. The rouge I bought for you last time was a gift from him to me. He treats me very well, truly. Marrying him, I won't be bullied. Mother, Gu Juicy, and I are already engaged. Mother, please don't worry anymore. The urgent matter now is something else. The betrothal gifts the Gu family sent are definitely substantial. But with Zhang Yue's personality, I'm afraid my dowry won't be much. When the time comes, if I am mocked by others, I won't be able to hold my head up high in the Gu family. In the next second, she called Yin in. Yin, a servant in the Lu household, immediately entered, smiled, and bowed her head in greeting. Greetings, First Madam. Looking at Yin, Lu Yuru asked, Yin. I called you here today to ask. After I get married, can you stay and help my mother? If you agree, stay. If not, that's fine too. Eneen replied immediately. Miss must be joking. For this servant to be able to become a personal maid to First Madam is already a blessing. How could I not agree? Right after, Lu Yuru turned to her mother and said, Mother, let her stay with you. Her mother also replied immediately. Tomorrow, mother will feign illness to make your father visit. Outside the hall, while walking, Hong said, Eldest miss, I have finished investigating. Besides the usual gold, silver, pearls, and jewelry, the Gu family also gifted 5 shops on the East Street. Hearing this, Lu Yuru ordered. The Gu family sent the betrothal gifts too quickly. They probably haven't had time to change the names on the deeds yet. Hong, find a few trustworthy people. And immediately go to the casino to find Gu Jusi. Give this letter to him. Tell him to change the names on the deeds to mine. Holding the letter, Hong was a bit doubtful. Miss, won't doing this make the Gu family look down on you? To this question, Lu Yuru could only smile bitterly and say, Do you think the Gu family doesn't know about our family's affairs? I've long been a laughingstock. What's there to be afraid of losing face for? Hong called out heartbroken, Mississippi. However, Lu Yuru remained strong. Looking at the moonlight in the sky, then spoke. I told you to pass the message. Meaning I have already considered it. Moreover, Gu Jusi's nature isn't bad either. He let the Gu family come to propose. So he surely must have some feelings for me. It was a beautiful night. The next morning, looking at Gu Jusi, the servants gossiped. Oh, young Master Gu is leaving so early today? It's only just dawn. Gu Jusi kept yawning, telling himself. No more gambling. No more. This young master has lost all his money. Right at this moment, a servant suddenly appeared in front of him. Seeing this, Gu Jusi said irritably, If you can't give me a reason for stopping me today, don't blame me for not being polite. The servant handed him the letter and replied, Young Master Gu, my miss said, Since you have the intention to become husband and wife, please protect her more. Receiving the letter, Gu Jusi was extremely bewildered and confused. What nonsense are you talking about? Do you have the wrong person? I am Gu Jusi. What husband and wife? However, right after reading the letter, his face darkened. Gu Jusi panicked and asked immediately, Is your Miss Lu Yuru? In an instant, he was furious, thinking to himself, You're doing great, Gu Langhua. You damn old man. Did you treat my words like wind passing by your ears? As soon as he finished speaking, Gu Jusi quickly left. The servant delivering the letter couldn't help but quickly remind him. Young Master Gu, please handle the matter of the deeds quickly. Gu Jusi frowned, turned back, and replied. What deeds? Agreeing to such a marriage. Is there something wrong with your Mrs. Head? While leisurely enjoying tea, Lu Yuru was thinking. In my whole life, I've never hated anyone. But now I truly hate Gu Jusi. Even Zhang Yuer is only acting for different interests. No one is truly a good person. Right at this moment, Hong ran in from outside and called out loudly. Miss. Young Master Gu said. Gu Jusi said there's something wrong with your head. Hearing this, Lu Yuru's face showed sheer astonishment. Her heart was full of thoughts. But now, I really hold a grudge against Gu Jusi. Listening to his attitude and the Gu family's actions, I'm afraid the Gu family intends to find a suitable person for him. Finishing her thought, her whole body suddenly trembled. Filled with resentment, she said. But he wasn't satisfied. Just right when he joked about marrying me. That remark reached the Gu family's ears. So they decided before he even knew. We built everything for so many years. And just because of one sentence from Gu Jusi, everything collapsed. Seeing Lu Yuru like this, Hong hurriedly comforted her. Miss. Don't get too angry. Young Master Gu doesn't seem reliable at all. If Madam on this side doesn't secure a dowry for you, then when you go to the Gu family, what will you do? Lu Yuru angrily smashed a teacup onto the ground. Then, full of frustration, she shouted. The entire Gu family has problems. The elders came to propose without even grasping the situation. The youngsters are ignorant. Only knowing how to gamble, not understanding marriage at all. No one in that family is reliable. I'm afraid Gu Jusi even thinks I'm relying on his family background. And want to marry him. It's so unreasonable. Their whole family has problems. Seeing her crying from being wronged, In Hong quickly comforted her. Miss, calm down. At Gu Jusi's place. He was also aggressively storming into the house despite the attempts to stop him by his subordinates. Young master. Calm down. Gu Jusi couldn't help but think angrily. Didn't Lu Yuru say, if she married me, she would jump into the lake? Why did she agree to my parents' proposal then? A calculating woman like her must have targeted my family from the start. She planned everything from the moment we met. As soon as he finished thinking, he stood in front of the door and yelled, Gu Langhua, you damn old man, come out here. Hearing this, Gu Langhua came out. Replying in annoyance, you brat, you still dare to come back? Gu Jusi quickly shoved the letter in front of Gu Langhua and asked, what is the meaning of this? Why did you discuss my marriage with Lu Yuru? Gu Langhua was so angry his face turned red, and he replied, what's wrong with Lu Yuru? Whoever I tell you to marry, you have to marry. You still dare to rebel? Gu Jusi stubbornly retorted immediately. I already said it last time. If I don't agree, no one can force me. Unless I personally say I want to marry. Otherwise, even if it's you, I will absolutely not yield. While they were arguing, Jiang Ro suddenly asked, but isn't that girl the one you wanted to marry? This left Gu Jusi utterly confused. When did I ever say I wanted to marry her? Immediately, the subordinate standing nearby explained. Young master, isn't it when we were at the rouge shop? The whole city knows about it now. After hearing those words, Gu Jusi felt a bit guilty and said, I was just joking. How could that be taken seriously? Hearing this, Gu Langhua became even angrier and said, if you say it, you must take responsibility. Otherwise, aren't you ruining someone else's reputation? This is a lifelong matter. Gu Jusi quickly argued back. Then isn't marrying her also a lifelong matter? I don't care. Cancel the marriage immediately. She is about to marry Yi Shiren. What mess are you guys making? Hearing this, Jiang Ro explained. Are you worried about that? Don't worry, we investigated when we went to propose. There's no such thing. The Lu family said that Miss Lu likes you. This made Gu Jusi extremely surprised. His heart was filled with contemplation. Ko I Kong Tik 6 Quan Tu Dan Jia. With a bright future like Yi Shiren. But turns around. And likes a playboy like me? Wait. If she is after money, marrying me is much better than marrying Yi Shiren. Could it be that Lu Yuru liking Yi Shiren was just to blindside me? To get close and set a trap for me? After thinking for a while, he asserted firmly. Whatever it is, I don't want to get married. If I have to marry, I will marry someone I like. Why would you let her calculate and force me like this? Gu Langhua immediately shot back. Force you? You yourself said you wouldn't marry anyone but her. Right? A real man must dare to speak and dare to act. If you want to break the engagement, then how do you plan to handle her lifelong matter? Gu Jusi said with a serious face, what do you mean? She should find someone she likes and do what she wants. Why does she need to get married? If the engagement is broken, would she use a white silk rope and a short sword to end her life? Besides marrying a husband, does she have nothing else to do? You people are so unreasonable. The more she heard, the more Jiang Ro frowned and asked, Jusi. Girls and boys are not the same. If you break the engagement, what will people say about her? Who will marry her? Would you marry someone whose engagement was broken off? If you like her, why wouldn't you marry her? Jusi, Yuru is a proper, well-educated young lady. She doesn't have your courage. Who knows, if you break off the engagement today, she might commit suicide out of shame tomorrow. After listening for a while, Gu Jusi suddenly became suspicious. Then why did you guys rush into the engagement like this? Jiang Ro grasped his hand and explained. Your uncle wants to bring you to the eastern capital to find you a position. and see if there's a chance to catch the princess's eye. But this matter with the princess could ruin half your life's future prospects. With your uncle's personality, if he really comes, we won't be able to stop him. Therefore, before he arrives, we have to settle your marriage. For so long, you haven't taken a liking to any girl. It doesn't matter anyway. So. However, Gujisi didn't care to understand those words. Still full of irritation, he shot back, "Nonsense. I'm not going. Uncle can't force me either." "That's just an excuse," Jiang Ro added helplessly. "No matter what kind of family we are, in the face of power, we have no choice." Gujisi still refused to listen, turning to leave while saying, "I don't want to get married. I'm going to break off the engagement right now." Seeing this, Gu Langhua directly ordered, "Men, catch him for me." In an instant, the subordinates complied. Ko 92 Trekteep by Troy Chato Dui Dat. Looking at him, Gu Langhua said, "Lock him in his room before the wedding. No one is allowed to let him out." This sentence made Gujisi's face darken, full of panic and helplessness. From outside, loud screams could be heard. "Save me! Open the door! The master of the Gu family is selling his son. Forcing his son to be a husband. I'm going to die. Is anyone there? I'm really going to die. Open the door now." Even though he screamed until his throat was hoarse inside, the guards outside ignored him. In this situation, Gujisi could only helplessly tell himself, "That old man is really determined to lock me up. I've shouted until I'm hoarse and still no one cares. Oh well, I'll just go back and sit and wait." As soon as he finished speaking, he looked at Lu Yuru's letter and thought, "This letter from Lu Yuru is pretty well written. Sincere words. Writing about the hardships she endures at home. Then asking me to help settle the land matter. Never mind. Even though I despise her, I despise the Lu family even more. My family has 5 shops. I can't possibly let that concubine benefit. I'll help her this once." Thinking for a while, Gujisi spoke up. "Men, I want to see my mother." Jiang Ro brought food to him and gently said, "Son, you must be hoarse from shouting so much. Ta de bao nuai now chet kan lecho conroy. Drink it quickly while it's hot." Gujisi looked at her and said, "Mother, there's something I want to ask of you." Jiang Ro replied immediately, "Go ahead." Gujisi scratched his nose, looking a bit embarrassed, and said, "Well, since we can't change this marriage anymore, then Lu Yuru is considered part of the Gu family. You know as well. These betrothal gifts will probably fall into the hands of that concubine. So disgusting." Hearing this, Jiang Ro understood immediately. "I understand. I also thought of this matter. So this time, I've already put her name on the most valuable land deeds among the betrothal gifts. When we deliver the gifts, I'll ask Miss Lu's biological mother to come and handle the matter." Having said that, she couldn't help but rejoice inwardly. His mouth says he doesn't want to. But isn't he still very concerned about his future wife? She hasn't even entered the door yet. Gujisi continued. "Whatever. It's just a convenient favor. I just find their family's concubine really disgusting. There's no other meaning." Looking at him, Jiang Ro smiled and replied, "Smooth talker. At Lu Yuru's place, her mother was talking to her." "All right, I understand. It's been half a month. The Gu family still hasn't sent the betrothal gifts." Lu Yuru replied, "What needed to be prepared on the list of gifts has already been prepared. Perhaps the land transfer takes a bit of time?" "Mother, go on. What about after father stayed overnight with Enin?" Her mother smiled and replied, "I did as you said. I didn't immediately elevate Enin's status. Perhaps your father felt guilty, so he didn't dare say anything to Zhang Yuer. Every day he uses the excuse of seeing me to visit Enin. He's probably a bit more sensible. Quan he come to Hoa Hon Lai. Your father treats me much better." Right at this moment, In Hong ran in from outside and announced, "Madam, Miss. The Gu family has delivered the betrothal gifts. Concubine Zhang invites you two over." Hearing this, Lu Yuru said, "Got it. We'll head over right away." Her mother couldn't help but be curious. Before, matters like this. Weren't they all handled by Zhang Yue? Why is she being so kind today? Lu Yuru smiled and explained. Mother, that was before. Now father's feelings toward you definitely have some guilt and pity. A major event like a daughter's marriage. How could he not let her biological mother handle it? Mother. Let's go. Don't let Madame Gu wait too long. Instantly, she helped her mother to meet Madame Gu, politely greeting them. Father, second concubine, Madame Gu. Jiang Ro was very pleased as soon as she saw Lu Yuru. Lu Yuru gently helped her mother sit down. Jiang Ro, sitting on the side, immediately spoke up. Today I brought the land and farm deeds for the betrothal gifts. Logically speaking, the betrothal gifts brought to the Lu family should be left for Yuru's brothers. But Yuru has no older brothers. Moreover, the amount of our betrothal gifts is large. As for Yuru's dowry from your side, it would be difficult for you to prepare enough. So I simply put the names for these fertile lands and shops under Yuru's name. You all just need to prepare some gold and money as her dowry. Hearing this, Zhang Yue was extremely surprised and bewildered. What? You put Yuru's name on the land deeds? Lu Yuru was also full of astonishment at this. Thinking to herself, my name? But didn't Gu Jusi disagree? Zhang Yue smiled stiffly and said, Madame Gu is joking. Yuru still has 2 younger brothers. How can you say she has no brothers? Hearing this, Jiang Ro replied, younger brothers? Then it's my fault for not investigating thoroughly. I heard before that first madam only had 1 daughter. In name, she hasn't raised any other children. So first madam also has 2 sons? Lu Yuru's mother quickly replied. Under my name, there are no other children. In the next second, Jiang Ro asked in confusion. Then Lu Xian awkwardly explained, my 2 sons were both born to concubine Yu. Upon hearing that, Jiang Ro smiled. Then she calmly said, Master Lu, the distinction between legitimate and illegitimate children is clear. Which family uses illegitimate children to inherit? Yuru is a legitimate child. Her status is not the same as those illegitimate children. This sentence directly made Zhang Yue visibly shocked. Lu Xian could only grit his teeth and endure it without saying a word. Lu Yuru, on the other hand, was extremely surprised, secretly thinking. Behind my back, but this is the first time I've been slapped in the face publicly. But so what if I am? This is Madame Gu. The Gu family in Yangzhou. What can they possibly do right now? It seems I have a feeling of unprecedented satisfaction. This is the first time I've met a woman who can calmly drink tea and slap father and the concubine's faces so bluntly. Looking at Jiang Ro, Lu Yuru told herself, marrying into the Gu family doesn't seem to be a bad choice. A loud voice rang out. Then even if it's not changed to Yuru's brothers' names, it should at least be changed to our master's name. The betrothal gifts you guys want to put Yuru's name on, haven't they already been brought over? Under Zhang Yue's questioning, Jiang Ro simply replied calmly. Concubine Yu. This is the second point I was considering. If our Gu manor changes the names on the deeds to Master Lu's name, I wonder how much dowry the Lu manor plans to give? This sentence completely silenced Zhang Yue. She could only endure it until she was trembling. At this moment, Lu Xian suddenly interjected. What does Madame Gu think is reasonable? Jiang Ro smiled and replied, Master Lu must be joking. I'm merely asking. The specifics are still your Lu family's business. It's not like we covet the dowry of someone else's daughter. It's just that the dowry is the bride's dignity. I was afraid first madam lacked experience, so I specially came to ask. Lu Yuru's mother hurriedly spoke up, However, before she could say much, Zhang Yue cut in. There's no need for elder sister to worry about this matter. Madame Gu can just ask me. At this time, Jiang Ro suddenly asked a sensitive question. So this Lu family currently isn't managed by the first madam, but by a concubine? Lu Xian glanced at his main wife who was suffering grievances. Not knowing how to explain, Zhang Yue, sitting aside, immediately smiled and cut in. Madame Gu might not know. Our first madam is not in good health. She usually lets me help out. Hearing this, Jiang Ro asked. Then the biological daughter's dowry. Are you also helping with that? As soon as she finished speaking, Lu Xian angrily slammed the table, turned to Zhang. You err, and warned. When Madame Gu speaks. Is it your place to talk so much? Then he couldn't help but say gently to the first madam. Madam, since you are managing this dowry matter, you should speak more with Madame Gu. Lu Yuru's mother quickly replied. Thank you, master. Madame Gu, for Yuru's dowry over the years. I have also made preparations. Let me see. Outside, the trees were still very lush. The sunlight shone brightly. Lu Yuru was lying in bed, asleep, looking a bit uncomfortable. In her dream, she was frantically running from smoke and fire. Indistinctly, behind her, there were countless arms reaching out to grab her. In the next second, a man suddenly grabbed Lu Yuru tightly, smiled sinisterly, and said, Before, when I wanted you pretended to be noble. Now haven't you ended up being sold to a brothel? Under this situation, she could only cry helplessly, pleading, no. No. As soon as she finished speaking, Lu Yuru jolted awake from the nightmare. Looking at the wedding paper cutouts on the wall, she thought. Having accepted the Gu family's betrothal gifts, the wedding day has also been set. Even the mandarin duck bedding playing in the water has been embroidered. I can no longer turn back. Seeing she looked tired, Yin Hong immediately approached and asked. Tu Thursday toi luk thay hai fukroi tu Thursday sao vei. Your forehead is full of sweat. Lu Yuru didn't answer, only thinking to herself. I've never believed in ghosts or deities before. But the dream was too realistic. It's hard to avoid feeling uneasy. Yin Hong continued asking, full of worry. Miss, are you too nervous? Lu Yuru gently replied, I'm fine. Help me get changed. Then she fell deep into thought again. Marrying Gu Jusi is a matter that cannot be changed. I cannot, because of a dream like that, destroy this arranged marriage. While putting the wedding dress on Lu Yuru, Yin Hong said. This wedding dress, miss. You sewed it stitch by stitch. Even saying that later when marrying young Master Yi. Lu Yuru's mother from afar heard this and immediately warned her. From now on, do not mention the Yi family anymore. Yin Hong smiled and replied. I'm sorry, Madam, Mississippi. With a face full of sorrow. A name still surfaced in Lu Yuru's heart. Yi Shiren. In her memory. At that time, Lu Yuru was introduced by Yi Shiren's younger sister. Brother, she is Lu Yuru, my best friend. Yi Shiren, looking like a true scholar, smiled and replied. Hello. My name is Yi Shiren. Looking at his handsome face, Lu Yuru blushed and said, hello, in her thoughts. From the age of 8, the first time, I knew I had to marry someone else. In my heart, I thought that person would be Yi Shiren. Even though Yi Shiren and I only spoke a few words to each other when we were little. After that, since he went to Bailu Academy at 13, we never met again. I'm also not sure if what I like is Yi Shiren himself, or the expectation I've held for years. Whatever it is, this is the person I've held on to for the longest time, and the most serious one in my life. But now, I have to give up. I wholeheartedly wanted to marry Yi Shiren, putting in so much effort. But in the end, it was all in vain. Looking back, I'm about to marry the man I despise the most in my life. The more she thought about it, the more Lu Yuru's tears fell. Seeing this, her mother standing next to her combed her hair and said, if you were a man, breaking the engagement would be fine. Unfortunately, you are a girl. Mother understands all your suffering. It's because mother is useless and can't help you. As she spoke, she tightly hugged Lu Yuru. She also cried in sorrow, calling out, Mother. The two of them just hugged each other, choking with emotion. After a while, Lu Yuru tried to wipe her tears and said, Mother, it's okay, don't be sad. They say crying before leaving the house brings good luck. I'm just crying casually for a bit. Come, let's put on makeup. It's okay. Lu Yuru's mother gently said. Mother cannot help you with anything. Don't worry about mother. Mother is also not worried. If you want to cry, just cry, mother won't worry. Right after that, Lu Yuru dressed up, looking incredibly beautiful. She put on the wedding dress preparing for the wedding. Her mother couldn't help but remind Yuru. From now on, entering the Gu family, you can only rely on yourself. Mother will wait for you outside. Lu Yuru shyly sat still on the bed waiting for her husband. The next second, someone kicked the door and rushed in. None other than Gu Jusi, he spoke coldly. Hurry up and follow me. Holding the other end of the red wedding silk, Lu Yuru thought to herself. Others might think this is an elopement. It's an auspicious day, I temporarily won't fight with you. Right when she stepped outside, she tripped. Just like that, Lu Yuru lost her balance and fell forward. Gu Jusi had to quickly approach to help her up. While helping her, he complained. You even fall while walking, so troublesome. Walking behind Gu Jusi, Lu Yuru gently spoke. Thank you, Gu Jusi immediately replied to me. I was afraid your fall would implicate the Gu family, making me a laughingstock for the whole city. There are steps ahead, be careful. Hearing this, Lu Yuru secretly smiled beautifully. This Gu Jusi truly says one thing but means another. Outside, the bridal sedan chair was ready. Many people were standing around watching. Right when Lu Yuru got on the sedan chair, a loud voice echoed. The bride is on the chair, lift. People around witnessed the joyful scene. While chatting, the young master of the Gu family is marrying a bride. Getting married, getting married. Congratulations, Master Gu. Right when the sedan chair was moving on the street, suddenly a figure flashed by. Lu Yuru was on the sedan chair, frowning in boredom. Right at this moment, suddenly she heard a voice echoing from outside. Eldest young master, slow down. Hearing these words, Lu Yuru widened her eyes, surprisingly thinking to herself. People called eldest young master. In this Yangzhou city, there are many. But I don't know why right now I really want to see. Is it that person? As soon as she finished thinking, she immediately lifted the curtain. Right upon seeing the young man in front of her, Lu Yuru immediately recognized. It's Yishan. With an absent-minded face, she couldn't help but think. He's back. Yishan just finished taking the provincial exam. Logically speaking, he should rest for a few days. Why did he come back early? He wouldn't. However, the next second, Lu Yuru tried to stop her train of thought. Stop thinking. Now this way of thinking is too dangerous. If I go over there, the life of Miss Lu will end. And a new stage of life will begin. At the Gu family, everything was prepared extremely neatly and beautifully. A voice echoed, the bride is invited to step out of the sedan. Just entering the house, Lu Yuru and Gu Jusi performed the ceremony. First bow to heaven and earth. Su Wenxiang looked at Gu Jusi and happily congratulated. Happy wedding, Jusi. I didn't expect among our three brothers, you would be the first to get married. Gu Jusi's face didn't have a single trace of joy as he replied. It's not what I wanted. At night, the sky was full of sparkling stars. In the room, Yin Hong couldn't help but remind. Miss, you haven't eaten anything since early morning. Do you want to eat something? Young Master Gu is entertaining guests, who knows when he'll return, Site 8, 9. Lu Yuru refused to listen and declined. The ceremony is not over, I cannot put down the fan. Putting down the round fan is not auspicious. Getting married, you can't even eat. Right at this moment, Yin Hong suddenly changed the subject. Today outside I saw eldest young Master Yi. Hearing that, Lu Yuru immediately reminded. Yin Hong, be careful, right now I am married into the Gu family. I am someone of the Gu family. Yesterday's matters are dead. If you still mention it and someone hears, it will not be good. Yin Hong heard that and didn't say anything more, obediently replying yes. At this moment, suddenly there was a knock on the door outside, making Lu Yuru full of doubt. Is it Gu Jusi? Eldest Miss Yi Yun from the Yi family with a beautiful face entered. Gently speaking, Madame Gu asked me to accompany the bride. You all can step down. Just seeing her, Lu Yuru was extremely surprised. Calling Yuner. Outside, the wedding lantern still illuminated the whole sky. In the room, Yi Yun gently spoke. Now there is no one else. Now it's only me accompanying you. You can put the fan down. Wait a bit until Gu Jusi comes and then cover it back up. Lu Yuru, while covering her face, calmly replied. Rules cannot be broken. We can just talk like this. Hearing this, Yi Yin immediately reminded. That person mentions rules every time he opens his mouth. But in his heart, he's more ambitious than anyone. His outside and inside do not match. You will suffer in the future. Hearing these words, Lu Yuru hesitated to speak. Then couldn't help but sadly think. Forget it, I am already married to someone else as a wife. Asking about Yishan's situation is not very appropriate. Right at this moment, Yi Yan suddenly announced. Oh right. My brother just heard the news of your engagement with the Gu family. And returned earlier than planned. Did you know? This made Lu Yuru extremely surprised. Yi Yan continued speaking. Yuru, regarding this matter, do not blame my brother. Regarding the engagement, my brother told the family to arrange it. But later the Gu family came to propose. My grandmother gave up on it. After all, the Gu family is not easy to deal with. You also know my grandmother's personality. Hearing this, Lu Yuru felt so wrong she was brought to tears. Thinking to herself, a high-ranking family like the Yi family would definitely not let their eldest young master marry a woman who was already engaged. Even if they really wanted to fight with the Gu family, it absolutely wouldn't be for a normal Lu Yuru. So from the start, I held no hope for the Yi family. Meanwhile, Yi Yan continued to speak. But my brother didn't think like that. He said a gentleman keeps his word. The Yi family should come and clarify things with the Gu family. Master Gu is a reasonable person. He will not use power to bully others. So this time when he returned. Before she could finish her sentence, Lu Yuru interrupted. But it's too late. Yi Yan forced a smile and replied. Since things are like this, marrying Gu Jisi might not be a bad thing. My brother is not bad at all. But in reality, he is a cold person. Wholeheartedly focused on his studies. Being his wife would be very hard. Even though Gu Jisi doesn't have good manners. His family not only has power and wealth. The most important thing is that he likes you. Willing to give you a box of rouge. Buying all the rouge in the shop. Everyone admires this. Yuru, don't hate my brother. Also don't be sad. You will live well in the future. Lu Yuru calmly answered. Don't worry, I have thought it through. Hearing this, Yi Yan breathed a sigh of relief and said. Then that's good. Leaning on Lu Yuru, she added. During this time, because of this, I haven't slept well. I was afraid you would hate my family. Hate my brother, and I was also afraid you wouldn't live well. Afraid you wouldn't pay attention to me anymore. We grew up together, closer than sisters. Don't be distant from me because of this. Lu Yuru sadly replied. I won't. Right at this moment, she suddenly gently asked. Ayun, I'm a little tired. Can you let me rest for a while? Yi Yan obediently listened and agreed immediately. Then you rest, I'll go out first. The next second, the sound of the door closing echoed. Alone. Lu Yuru, full of grievance, cried uncontrollably. If I never had it, maybe it wouldn't be anything. But the person I originally wanted, I almost could have been with. Eldest young master Yi originally also wanted to marry me. How can I be willing to accept this? I hate the Gu family for destroying half my life's efforts. Hate Gu Jisi's childishness. Gu Jisi's voice suddenly appeared in her head. In this life, I won't marry anyone but her. Jiang Ro's gentle figure also appeared. Master Lu treats legitimate and concubine children differently. What wealthy family would let a concubine's son inherit? Yuru is the eldest legitimate daughter. The status is different. The image of Gu Jisi helping Lu Yuru while reminding. You even fall while walking, so troublesome. The more she thought, the more helpless she felt. But I cannot deny. Facing Jiang Ro's kindness. Gu Jisi's concern. I just can't bring myself to hate. I don't know who to blame for my own fate. I can only hide under the fan and cry silently. As a woman, what choices do we have? Since you are married, then sit peacefully in the position of Madame Gu. No need to play the farces of the Lu family. Right at this moment, a loud voice echoed from outside. I'm not going in. You smelly old man, let me out. It was Gu Jisi. He was being pushed into the bridal chamber by his family. And the door was locked tight. Gu Jisi angrily shouted loudly. Let me out. Gu Langhua, if you have the guts, let me out. I am already married. What else do you want to do? Do you absolutely have to force me to death? Gu Langhua under this situation quickly replied immediately. Shut up, close the windows for me. If he dares to come out today, break his legs. You all guard carefully. Gu Jisi kept trying to bang on the door non-stop. In despair, he still kept talking continuously. I spit on you, old swindler. You said getting married would be it. Why are you locking me up? You don't keep your word. Let me out, otherwise I won't let this go. However, even though Gujisi shouted until his throat was hoarse, there was still no movement. This made Gujisi extremely helpless. Sitting down on the chair, he muttered to himself, "Spit, damn old man." Right at this moment, Lu Yuru, sitting not far away, was staring at him. This startled Gujisi so much he spat out his water. The next second, he turned around and asked, "You. What are you doing sitting there holding a fan? Haven't you slept yet?" Lu Yuru calmly answered. "My husband hasn't arrived, the ceremony isn't completed, how would you dare to sleep?" Hearing this, Gujisi was full of doubt. "Don't you know how to put it down yourself?" Lu Yuru didn't answer. Just stared at him ceaselessly. This made Gujisi extremely confused. And immediately reminded her. "Are you sitting still playing dead? Don't scare people in the middle of the night. Hurry up and go to sleep. Lunak Nunain Hang Noi. My husband hasn't drank the cross-cupped wine with me yet." The more he listened, the more Gujisi turned into stone, his soul flying away. He asked, full of doubt. "Are you really willing to marry me?" Gujisi asked with a serious face. "Are you really willing to marry me?" Hearing this, Lu Yuru stayed silent and didn't reply. Seeing this, Gujisi scratched his face and cautiously added. "Actually, I also know that all the young ladies in Yangzhou City, no one likes me. I also don't want people to like me. In this life, I just want to marry someone who likes being with me, and live harmoniously for a lifetime." Hearing this, Lu Yuru asked. "So?" Gujisi quickly approached her, handing her a cup of tea while smiling and saying, "Miss Lu, I know you are actually a smart woman. So I want to negotiate with you. I know the person you like is not me, how about this? In the future, you manage the household, you take the money to do business. Wait until you are capable. If you like someone or I like someone, we can divorce peacefully, okay?" As soon as his words finished, Lu Yuru's face was extremely stunned and absent-minded. Meanwhile, Gujisi still calmly spoke. "I used to think you women care about reputation because you want to marry a good man, to live well. So if you can make a good life for yourself, then let people say whatever they want to say. It's not important either, right? A person's life is only a few decades. No one should wrong themselves. Miss Lu, in the future you will become a businesswoman. Naturally you will meet someone who truly loves you. If you don't meet one, living alone is fine too. And I might meet a girl I like. I absolutely won't wrong her. Of course, if I don't meet one then so be it, I can be alone too." Right after he finished speaking, Lu Yuru, full of grievances and tears welling up, asked. "If you don't like me, why did you marry me?" Gujisi immediately put the teacup down on the table. Then clearly replied, "I should be asking you this. If you don't like me, why did you want to marry me?" You agreed. This marriage puts us both in a dilemma. If I didn't marry you, you would die. But if I marry you, I have to bury my whole life. I can't just sit and wait for death." Saying this, he happily approached Lu Yuru. "We can negotiate. I believe one day you will accept to divorce me peacefully." As soon as the sentence ended, Gujisi received a slap from Lu Yuru. She angrily shouted loudly, get out of here for me." Gujisi's face reddened from the slap just now. Lu Yuru on the contrary didn't care at all. She couldn't help but feel pained and helpless, bursting into tears. Her heart was full of thoughts. Why did I marry a person like this? What he said sounds so easy to do. But I'm afraid right after divorcing him, I would be drowned by the spittle of society. I also can't explain why I wanted to marry him. If he really has the thought of divorcing me, then wouldn't he just cast me out? And absolutely won't let me live in peace. My mother would be a cautionary tale. Now not only could I not marry Yishan, even Gujisi wants to divorce me. What prospects do I have left? Seeing Lu Yuru crying non-stop, Gujisi hurriedly asked. You aren't the one who got hit, I am, so what are you crying for? However, the more he spoke, the louder Lu Yuru cried, making Gujisi extremely flustered. Stop crying, I won't say any more. Your crying gives me a headache, never mind. Have you eaten anything? As soon as he finished speaking, he turned to look at the table of food in front of him, inwardly thinking, I was beaten by my father early in the morning. And forced to drink alcohol at the banquet table. Haven't even eaten a meal. Also don't know how long Lu Yuru wants to cry for. Better eat something first. I also don't understand how someone can cry like this. She likes Xishan. I showed her a way out and she doesn't even appreciate it. My good intentions are unappreciated. Just finishing his thoughts, Gu Jusi pushed the food towards Lu Yuru and said, "Don't cry anymore. Eat something. Eating something will make you feel better." Lu Yuru ignored his words. Just angrily shouted, "Get out." The more he heard, the more annoyed Gu Jusi felt, frowning. He directly smashed the plate of food on the floor then said loudly, "What are you crying for anyway? Didn't they say in the future I might divorce you? When that time comes, I will arrange a way out for you. What are you afraid of? The person you like isn't he." Before he could finish, Gu Jusi froze. "Sao de Nayan Gung Len Tiang. Wait, it's not like you actually like me, right?" He couldn't help but rejoice secretly in his heart. After so many years, it's the first time someone likes me. Thinking of this, Gu Jusi continued. "I understand your feelings. But I don't like your type. If you want money, it's easy. But if you want my heart, it's difficult." Seeing Lu Yuru still crying nonstop, Gu Jusi sat closer to her, staring intently and helplessly muttering to himself. Before, I was angry that Lu Yuru married in just for money. Now after knowing she isn't here for money. But for me, it's quite a headache. The woman I like naturally must be romantic. Completely different from this world. The bossy woman he likes must be someone who confidently pins him against the wall and declares, "Tomorrow I will come to your door to propose." The more he thought about it, the more Gu Jusi affirmed. The type that attracts people at first sight. While Lu Yuru is too ordinary. Too bound by rules. Even though marrying me sacrificed too much, I still cannot accept her feelings. Thinking of this, Gu Jusi approached Lu Yuru to comfort her. "Don't cry anymore. The future is long, you just take your time to think. Although I don't like you. But you have already married me. My parents will treat you well. Don't worry." However, Lu Yuru frowned and immediately retorted, "I didn't marry your parents." This left Gu Jusi with no other way but to hand a stack of money towards her and cheerfully say, "Here, you're tired from crying, hug this money and go to sleep. Tomorrow after you rest, I will take you out to spend money. Love harms the body. Only wealth is the most important thing. You are a smart person. You definitely understand this logic, right?" Speaking up to here, Gu Jusi couldn't help but gently take down the hairpin from Lu Yuru's head. Then gently covered her with a blanket. After a while, Gu Jusi helplessly sighed and told himself, "A man like me. Why do I have to face such a heavy and complex emotional problem? My heart is so tired." While looking at Lu Yuru sleeping on the bed, Gu Jusi secretly thought, "No, I cannot resign myself to such a fate. I must rebel against Gu Langhua. I must make Lu Yuru give up her feelings for me. I will use actions to show my rebellion." At this time outside, the subordinates were slowly removing the wooden boards blocking the door, while calling young master. However, Gu Jusi had already run away some time ago. This made them unable to help but panic and shout loudly, "Oh no, not good, the young master has run away." At another place, just sitting at the dining table, Su Wenxiang spoke up. Congratulations to you and sister-in-law." However, before he could finish his sentence, Gu Jusi interrupted. "Stop congratulating me. I feel like my head is about to explode." Seeing Gu Jusi so helpless, Chen Sun couldn't help but comfort him. "It's just marrying a woman. It's not a big deal. Lu Yuru. Doesn't she just want the status of Madame Gu? Just give it to her and be done with it. In the future we can just happily play around. You don't need to worry." Gu Jusi replied with a bewildered face. No, if she was only greedy for the Gu family's money, it would be fine. The problem is last night I just found out she didn't come for money. Hearing this, Su Wenxiang curiously asked, "Then what did she come for?" Gu Jusi's face suddenly turned red, as he shyly spoke. "She came for me. She likes me." Hearing this, Chen Sun was so surprised that he spat water all over Su Wenxiang's face. "What?" Chen Sun wiped Su Wenxiang's face, while awkwardly saying, Sorry, I was too surprised." Gu Jusi also quickly added, I was also very shocked when I found that out. If she wanted money, it would still be manageable. But she wants this heart. I also don't know what to do for the best. Su Wenxiang, hearing this, understood the problem and asked. So you came today because you want us two brothers to think of a way to make her give up hope? Gu Jisi replied, give up hope early. Let go early to prevent her from sinking deeper. I am also in a difficult position. At this moment, Jinsun suddenly smiled and interrupted. This matter is easy. Making a woman give up hope is simple. This made Gu Jisi unable to help but be curious. Tell me how to do it. Su Wenxiang smiled and proposed. Sleep at Chunfeng brothel for 3 days. Guaranteed she will give up hope. Hearing that, Gu Jisi thought to himself. Chunfeng brothel. The last time I went, seems like it was to celebrate Su Wenxiang's birthday, right? Even bidding on the top courtesan's first night to gift him. Although I have no interest. The more he thought, the more he smiled wickedly. But for a woman, what is more terrible than her husband, on the very next day, after the wedding, going to a brothel? As for Gu Langhua, won't it anger him to death? Then, the very next second, Gu Jisi immediately decided. Alright, we're going to Chunfeng brothel. The next morning, from inside the room echoed a voice calling Miss. Looking at Lu Yuru's haggard face, Yin Hong couldn't help but worry. Miss, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell somewhere? Miss, say something. What did the young master do to you last night? Why are you still wearing the wedding dress? Did you two not consummate the marriage? With a face full of bewilderment and absent-minded eyes, Lu Yuru immediately answered Yin Hong. He wants to abandon me. This made Yin Hong extremely surprised. What? Lu Yuru helplessly buried her face and cried, while continuing to complain. He said it. He doesn't like me. In the future there will be someone he likes. He wants to treat that person well. Therefore sooner or later he will abandon me. Telling me to plan ahead early. The more Yin Hong listened, the more flustered she got, calling out. But miss. With an absent-minded face, Lu Yuru added. Yin Hong, what should I do? What should I do? If I am abandoned or unloved in the Gu family, what will happen to my mother? This time, my mother personally prepared the dowry for me, bringing so much property over here. If the Gu family doesn't step up to protect her, wait until Zhang Yue regains power. Then how will my mother live? The more she thought, the more aggrieved she felt, shedding tears. Yin Hong was also heartbroken, sitting down at her feet to comfort her. Miss, the young master. The young master must just be joking. Right now he doesn't know how good you are. Wait until he realizes. He won't be able to love and cherish you fast enough. How could he abandon you? Lu Yuru heard these words but remained silent and didn't answer. Yin Hong continued to add. Since things have come to this, miss, don't be discouraged. Yin Hong, we'll go with you to serve tea. To Madame Gu and Master Gu. And make a good impression on them. Who knows, there might still be a chance to turn things around. Anyway, it was the Gu family who came to propose. Madame Gu is also very satisfied with you. However, Lu Yuru had no energy left. And just dejectedly replied. Just say I'm sick, right now I am. Truly very tired. Seeing that, Yin Hong didn't try to persuade her anymore. Just obediently said, yes, miss. I will go report to Master Gu and Madame Gu right away. Yin Hong seemed to feel extremely sympathetic for Lu Yuru, as she secretly thought. No matter how smart and clever the miss is, in the end she is still just a 15-year-old girl. Outside the room at this time, suddenly a loud voice echoed. Master. This is bad, the eldest young master has gone to Chunfeng brothel. Hearing that, Lu Yuru froze, full of bewilderment and confusion, muttering to herself. Chunfeng brothel? The most famous romantic place in Yangzhou. On the tree branch, two small birds were chirping with each other. In the mansion, a loud voice suddenly echoed. Master. This is bad, the eldest young master has gone to Chunfeng brothel. Hearing that, Gu Langhua became extremely furious. This brat really doesn't respect anyone anymore. Yin Hong, in the current situation, could only helplessly secretly judge. Going to a brothel on the second day after getting married. This playboy. Even for a loafer, this is too excessive. Meanwhile, Gu Langhua, with a darkened face, grabbed a stick and said. Let's see how I will deal with you. However, before he could do anything, he was immediately reminded by Jiang Rou sitting nearby. Master, he is now a married man. He can't be disciplined by you like a child forever. Gu Langhua frowned and replied, if I don't discipline him, won't he just fly away? Whose young master gets married the day before and abandons his bride to go to a brothel the next day? This is going too far, Jiang Rou gently explained. Have you beaten him rarely over these 2 years? Isn't him going to the brothel this time also out of anger towards you? From the very beginning, he already had prejudice against this marriage. If today, you stand up for Yuru and catch him to bring back and beat him, then he and Yuru will hate each other. How can they live together in the future? After hearing Jiang Rou's persuading words, Gu Langhua also helplessly sat down and said, then you take care of it and see if you have any good ideas. Jiang Rou smiled and said, the problem doesn't lie with us, but on Yuru's side. The next second she turned to ask Yin Hong, is your miss available to meet guests right now? Yin Hong stammered and didn't answer. Seeing that, Jiang Rou seemed to understand the implication and said, if she won't come to meet me, then I will go to meet her. At Lu Yuru's room. From outside a voice called, Yuru. The next second, Jiang Rou slowly walked in. With a very gentle voice. I heard you aren't feeling well. I came to visit you, are you feeling any better? Upon seeing her, Lu Yuru tried to stand up to pay her respects. Madame Gu, however, Jiang Rou reminded her immediately. If you aren't feeling well, you don't need to get up. Our family doesn't have that many formalities. Approaching Lu Yuru, Jiang Rou asked, what happened between you and Jissi last night? Did Jissi say something wrong to you? Before coming to propose, I had made inquiries. People all said you were a well-bred young lady, observing etiquette and morals. Why is it that today, after marrying into our family, it's not like that? With a distracted look, Lu Yuru replied, Madame Gu, I originally was not willing to marry. This made Jiang Rou extremely surprised and astonished. But when I came to propose, your father's concubine said that you admired Jissi. Lu Yuru could only smile bitterly and explain. Madame Jiang, don't you already know my family's situation? How can you believe the words of my father's concubine? Jiang Rou still responded in disbelief. But your father was right there, and your family. You, with your stuttering words, made her unable to help but feel confused, thinking to herself. I know the internal affairs of the Lu family are not peaceful. But I heard that even though Lu Xian favors his concubine over his wife, he doesn't mistreat his children. All these years, Lu Yuru, you have still been fed and raised as a legitimate daughter. Moreover, parents always have deep affection for their firstborn. How could Lu Xian do such a thing? Letting a concubine run rampant in his daughter's marriage, without interfering at all. After thinking for a while, Jiang Rou asked, then let me ask you. Did your family and the Yi family actually have an engagement? Lu Yuru immediately said they had the intention to marry. Old Madame Yi personally came to my house as a matchmaker. My family also agreed. Just waiting for young Master Yi to return from the provincial exam, to come and propose. Hearing up to here, Jiang Rou jumped up and said loudly in annoyance. This is truly absurd. In her heart, she couldn't help but secretly think. Wasted so much effort to arrange this marriage. The son doesn't want it, the young lady doesn't agree. And even offended the Yi family. No wonder Yuru has this attitude today. But things have already happened. Perhaps the two of them are even more confused than we are. We have to think of a way to solve this matter. Given the current situation, Jiang Rou could only approach to apologize to Lu Yuru. Miss Lu. This matter is because our Gu family was not careful. We didn't thoroughly investigate your engagement with the Yi family. For this mistake, I apologize to you and hope you forgive us. Lu Yuru's face remained unchanged as she replied. A private matter like this isn't worth letting outsiders know. Even if Madam meant well, it would be hard to know the truth. I don't blame Madam for this. Hearing this, Jiang Rou suddenly became doubtful and asked. But now that things are like this, what does Miss Lu plan to do? Lu Yuru replied. The marriage is settled and the wedding is already done. Could I really let Gu Jusi abandon me? I have come to the Gu family, I just want to live in peace. What else can I choose? As she spoke, she tremblingly gripped her skirt. Lu Yuru, full of helplessness, poured out all her feelings. But it's not that I don't want to. It's Gu Jusi who doesn't want it. Madame Gu, on our wedding night he said he wanted to divorce me. And now he's nowhere to be seen. Madam, tell me how I am supposed to keep living? I have accepted my fate. Marrying someone like him. I don't dare to expect much in this life. But at least let me live in peace. If he really abandons me, isn't that forcing me to a dead end? Speaking up to here, Lu Yuru's tears welled up. Jiang Ro sitting beside her immediately comforted her. So then, Yuru, do you want us to help you find Gu Jusi and bring him back? Is that right? With tears falling continuously, Lu Yuru spoke up. What happens after finding him? Found him and he leaves again, find him again and he leaves again. Over and over again. I have to follow him and be a laughingstock for the whole city of Yangzhou, just let it be. I accept it, he is just a person like that. Madame Gu, just let me stay at the Gu family. Just give me a meal and that's enough. I don't want to calculate anymore. I don't want to care anymore. I can't bear it anymore. I can't bear it. As her words ended, she sank into her own thoughts. The panicked and worried figure of Lu Yuru suddenly appeared. Her hands seemed like they could reach the oasis in the desert. But in the end, they couldn't. Time after time, being teased by fate. Time after time, facing instability. I thought the bright path was right before my eyes. But suddenly fell into the abyss. I've been careful all these years. And in the end, still had to come to this step. I don't want to fight, nor do I dare to fight anymore. Jiang Ro gently reassured Miss Lu. Stop crying when you've cried enough. Once the crying is over, standing back up is the right thing to do. I know you have a lot of bitterness in your heart. But when a person falls, if they stand back up, they can still keep walking. If they stay down forever, then the road ends right there. Lu Yuru, with tears streaming down, painfully replied. Who doesn't know this truth? But, Madame Gu, I simply cannot see where this road is. Hearing this, Jiang Ro explained. I know you are not satisfied with Gu Jusi. Feeling he is a useless, frivolous playboy. Compared to Yishan, he is indeed not a good husband material. But my son is inherently kind-hearted. And has never done anything against his conscience. Except for gambling, he is moderate in everything else. Rumor has it outside that he spends thousands of gold on the top courtesan in the brothel. That was only spent for a friend. He never gets close to women. What he desires in a wife is a lifetime with just one person. Compared to many men today, at least emotionally, he will not treat his wife badly. After hearing those words, Lu Yuru immediately retorted. True feelings for someone you love are sweet honey. But to someone you don't love, they are poison. Now he wants to abandon me. Isn't that also because of his true feelings? So I actually wish he were a bit more promiscuous. To at least leave me a way out. Jiang Ro gently wiped the tears from her face and said. In this world, how many marriages are arranged by parents? Set up by matchmakers. They all get married. And feelings grow as they live together day by day. We feel that he likes you. Because you are the only person he has ever said he liked. You are also the girl he wanted to marry. Even if it's a misunderstanding, emotionally. You are already one step ahead of other girls. I'm not telling you to win his favor. But at least give him a chance. First, try to understand him. Only by accepting him will you have a path forward. If you plan to lock yourself in this room for the rest of your life, you are just making things hard for yourself. That way, your resentment will never end. And your whole life will pass by just like that. I don't expect you and my son to fall in love. But I hope that when you come to the Gu family, you can live earnestly. Whatever I can do to help you, I will help. Lu Yuru listened intently, her body trembling slightly. Meanwhile, Jiang Ro continued speaking. Regarding Jusi going to Chunfeng Pavilion today, what do you plan to do? You can tell me. As long as you are willing to take this step. Hearing this, Lu Yuru replied. Chunfeng Pavilion? What if I want Madam to go right now, bring Gu Jusi back? And punish him severely? She said with a face full of murderous intent. Jiang Ro, on the other hand, was very straightforward. And replied immediately with a bright smile. Okay, anything else? This made Lu Yuru jump in extreme surprise. Madam Gu, he is your son. I don't understand why you're helping me like this. Jiang Ro smiled and explained, I already told you. I want us to be family. Not enemies. What Juicy did is wrong. And I will not show favoritism. The Gu family has made you our young madam. And I will try my best to guide this marriage in the best possible direction. As long as you are willing to live properly. Juicy's father and I are both generous people. You don't need to worry about rigid formalities. In the future, whether you want to manage the household, run businesses, or study, I can teach you everything. With Juicy's temperament. If he doesn't abandon you, he will definitely not take concubines. You will be in charge of the inner courtyard. And it will definitely be peaceful. When the time comes, Gu Juicy will protect Lu Yuru. And even Zhang Yuer won't be able to do anything. Jiang Ro continued speaking. As for him going to Chunfeng Pavilion after getting married. First, it's because of the misunderstanding that you and his father teamed up. So he did it on purpose to anger his father. Second, he doesn't understand your suffering. But as long as you tell him, he will shoulder this responsibility and think of a way for you. Since that's the case, Miss Lu, do you still need me to bring Juicy back? After listening to her speak for a while, Lu Yuru replied. Never mind. Jiang Ro immediately advised. Don't rush to reject this marriage. At least try to understand what kind of person Juicy is first. Outside, the sun was still shining brightly. Yin Hong opened the door, walked in, and called Miss. With a bewildered face, Lu Yuru spoke up. Let me think about it. Outside the mansion, fresh flowers had bloomed everywhere. Gu. Langhuo whistled casually, feeding his pet. Some bait. Right at that moment, a voice suddenly rang out from afar. Master, madam, the young madam is here. This made Gu Langhua startle and panic. He immediately sat down on a chair and said, I feel jittery inside. Just feeling anxious. Jiang Ro, sitting next to him, quickly reminded. The children's matters. We should just listen. Don't interfere. Lu Yuru slowly walked in. And in the next second, she politely paid her respects. The past few days, Yuru hasn't been feeling well. So I didn't come to greet father and mother. Please forgive me, father and mother. Hearing this, Gu Langhua quickly replied. This is not your fault. It's all because of Juicy, that insolent brat. Just wait until I catch him back. I will definitely make him apologize to you. I won't let you suffer for nothing. Lu Yuru smiled brightly and said. Father must be joking. The eldest young master is innocent and naive. Yuru understands that. Yuru is already a part of the Gu family. As long as the eldest young master is living well, that's enough. Him liking to go out and play isn't a big deal. Hearing this, Gu Langhua felt a chill down his spine and thought to himself. What on earth did you say to her? This girl. Acting like this is even scarier than throwing a tantrum. My intuition tells me your son is finished. Jiang Ro sat nearby, as if understanding his thoughts, glanced at him and replied. Don't rush, just listen to what Yuru has to say first. Lu Yuru asked gently. Today, Yuru came here. First, to pay respects to father and mother. Second, to learn about the situation in the household. I'd like to know if there's anything Yuru needs to be mindful of while living in the Gu family in the future. Gu Langhua immediately said, actually, there's nothing much. As long as you and Juicy live in harmony, and when you have free time, just urge him to study harder, that will be enough. Hearing this, Lu Yuru understood the meaning and asked back. Father means you hope the eldest young master reads more and makes progress? Outside, the sun was shining brightly, filtering through the canopy and the flowers. Lu Yuru gently asked. Has Madame's intention ever been mentioned to the eldest young master before? As soon as she finished speaking, she thought to herself. If they had had this intention early on, with their capabilities, would they have let Gu Juicy become the way he is now? Gu Langhua gloomily explained. Back then is different from now. Before, we just hoped he would live happily for his whole life. But things aren't the same anymore. Currently, we hope he will have the ability in the future, so that even without us, he can protect himself. Hearing this, Lu Yuru immediately realized. Do you mean something major has happened in the family? Jiang Ro gently replied. Although the Gu family are wealthy merchants in Yangzhou, our roots are in Dongdu. My older brother is currently serving as the Minister of Personnel in Dongdu. Nowadays, the political situation in Dongdu is unstable. His Majesty hasn't attended court for 3 months. My brother originally intended to bring Juicy to Dongdu, arrange a minor official position for him, and then recommend him to Her Highness the Princess to find him a promising future path. But we don't want Juicy to get involved in this matter. As soon as she finished speaking, Lu Yuru was deep in thought. His Majesty hasn't attended court for 3 months. His days might be numbered. What follows will naturally be a dispute over the throne. But the current emperor has no sons, and he established a crown prince long ago. It seems there shouldn't be a struggle for succession. So what is the Gu family afraid of? Right at that moment, the scenes from her dream suddenly flashed back. With countless sounds and scenes engulfed in smoke and fire, the Gu family was suspected of participating in a rebellion with Prince Liang. An imperial edict to investigate and confiscate their property, resisting the edict meant execution without mercy. To save the Gu family's lives, Juicy was heavily wounded all over, but with resolute eyes, he spoke up, saying the Gu family colluded with Prince Liang. Do you have evidence? It's clearly because you people are jealous of the Gu family's wealth. So you found an excuse to plunder it. The son of the Yangzhou military commissioner, Wang Shangquan. Wang Rong coldly snorted and replied. So what if there's no evidence? Prince Liang rebelled, the world is in chaos. Even Fan Xian, a military commissioner in Yuzhou, dared to declare himself a king. The Wang family. We are just going along with the times. The more she thought about it, the more anxiety appeared in Lu Yuru's eyes. Meanwhile, Jiang Rou continued to speak. I don't know what stance my brother in Dongdu is taking, or if he has ties to any of the princes. As for me, I will still stand by the Son of Heaven. I have no relationship with the royal relatives, but I have a niece who is a concubine to Prince Liang. Hearing this, Lu Yuru's face clearly showed shock and astonishment. She couldn't help but think to herself, that dream, this is the second time. If the first time was just a coincidence, then this second time, is it really just happenstance? While she was in a panic, Jiang Rou spoke up to remind her. Yuru, don't just stand there. Your body has just recovered. You shouldn't overexert yourself. Lu Yuru smiled and replied. Thank you for your concern, madam. Then, as she sat down on the chair, she pondered. If that dream is real, how much longer can the Gu family survive? If the Gu family collapses as Gu Juicy's wife, would I still be able to escape? After thinking for a while, Lu Yuru spoke up again. If there are unforeseen events at home and the situation isn't the same as before, the eldest young master's temperament really needs to change. A man's ambition. He should at least have some abilities to rely on himself. He needs to know how to earn his own living. He can't just rely on his parents forever. Gu Langhua shook his head helplessly and said. That goes without saying. But we didn't think that far ahead before. If I try to control him now, he definitely won't listen. Yuru, you just married in. How people will treat you from now on will all depend on the rules set at the beginning. You must definitely lay down the rules for him and discipline him well on our behalf. Hearing this, Lu Yuru forced a smile and said. However, if his own parents haven't been able to discipline him, how could I, his wife, possibly manage him? As soon as she finished speaking, Gu Longhua's eyes flashed, and he confidently declared, don't worry. I will back you up. I'll give you the 20 best martial artists in the courtyard. If he doesn't listen, just catch him and teach him a lesson. Seeing his attitude, Lu Yuru immediately understood. She secretly thought, I just planned to be a salted fish lying around doing nothing. After chatting for a while, Jiang Rou gently reminded. Yuru, you must be tired too. Go rest. In the coming days, I will hand over all matters, big and small, in the household to you to manage. If there's anything you don't understand, just come and ask me. When you get used to it, I will completely hand over the household duties to you. Hearing this, Lu Yuru immediately lowered her head and replied. I will not let you down, father and mother. I will definitely make him mature more. Mother, I want to get acquainted with everyone in the house. Can you assign a nanny to me to help me get familiar with everything? Jiang Rou said. Then I'll have Nanny Chen follow and help you for a while. Right away, she ordered Wang Shou to gather the skilled people in the household to obey the young madam's commands. Gu Langhua also chimed in with a serious face. From now on, whatever the young madam says, just do as she instructs. Don't let the young master bully the young madam. After hearing this, Wang Shou boldly replied. Your subordinate obeys. Outside the mansion, Many subordinates had fully gathered together. Lu Yuru was sitting calmly drinking tea. And then she spoke softly. From now on, I am your young madam. I hope everyone will look out for me. Mother has handed the household duties over to me. So I hope everything is done with some order. And a bit cleaner. To avoid disturbing the eldest young master's studies. Do you all understand? The subordinates quickly replied in unison. Understood. Lu Yuru continued, 7 days from now. I will issue new house rules. Everyone in the mansion must comply with them. The first rule is, all matters in the Gu residence must prioritize supporting the eldest young master's studies above all else. No one is allowed to help the eldest young master do anything detrimental to his studies. Do you people understand? Upon hearing this, all the subordinates bowed their heads in silence. Seeing this, Lu Yuru strictly reminded them. Right now, I will immediately go bring the eldest young master back. If necessary, I will use strong measures. You will follow my orders. And are not allowed to back down. Nor are you allowed to resist. Remember clearly, not only do you have to manage yourselves, but you must also cooperate with all my directions. If there's any behavior of insubordination or resistance, all of you will be sold away, understand? Wang Shou and Nanny Chen quickly complied, bowing their heads and answering. Everything relies on the young madam's directions. Seeing this, the other subordinates also immediately bowed their heads to accept the order. We all obey the young madam's commands. Under these circumstances, Lu Yuru couldn't help but feel satisfied. Smiling happily. Outside the main hall, Lu Yuru boldly instructed. You guys head to the study first. Buy all the things a scholar should have. Like brushes, ink, the 4 books, and the 5 classics. The subordinates quickly obeyed immediately, yes. While they worked, they followed Lu Yuru's instructions. All the random books the eldest young master used to read. The toys, the wine. All the things that distract him from reading. Pack them all up and wait for me to return and deal with them. Also, block the hole in the wall surrounding the back courtyard. Take the ladders away, and invite masons to build the wall higher, to ensure the eldest young master cannot climb out. And so, the subordinates obediently built a sturdy wall. Lu Yuru continued to give orders. Inhong, go find the eldest young master's private stash of money and bring it here. Then prepare bathwater, hangover soup, and food for him. Additionally, prepare clothes, without any patterns. Clothes that don't need any special style. These clothes are specifically for him to wear while reading. Inhong obediently answered, yes. With a sinister look in her eyes, Lu Yuru smiled meaningfully. Wang Shou, is the eldest young master still at Chunfeng Pavilion? Right at that moment, she suddenly noticed a sword far away. Lu Yuru quickly grabbed it. Then she ordered, call 40 men to follow me for a trip. As long as I go to Chunfeng Pavilion today, my reputation will be completely ruined. The Yi family will probably also feel fortunate for not marrying a useless woman like me. As the palanquin landed, Lu Yuru coldly stepped out. Looking at Chunfeng Pavilion, right in front of her, she thought to herself. As long as I go to Chunfeng Pavilion today, my reputation will be completely ruined. The Yi family will probably also feel fortunate for not marrying a useless woman like me as a wife. But I am already married to Gu Jusi. So I have to find a way out for myself and my future. A path. Only by forcing Gu Jusi to study and become an official will there be status and legal constraints. So he can't just arbitrarily divorce me. Only if he becomes an official can I become a lady of titled rank, making it impossible for anyone to look down upon my mother and me. As she walked, she held the sword in her hand, making everyone around her feel panicked. The tip of the sword dragged heavily on the ground as she kept dragging the tip of the sword along, leaving people extremely bewildered. She isn't here to catch Gu Jusi, is she? Isn't this the eldest miss of the Lu family, Lu Yuru? What is she doing here? Lu Yuru glanced around. Yi Xian was not far away, calmly drinking wine. Upon hearing the chatter, he thought to himself. Yuru is known for acting steadily. She wouldn't come here. While Gu Jusi was still fast asleep, the people at Chunfeng Pavilion woke him up. Eldest young master Gu, wake up quickly, your family members are here. Gu Jusi calmly replied, don't be noisy, I'm ignoring whatever is happening, get out. The next second, from outside, came the sound of knocking on the door along with the words. Husband Gu Jusi. Gu Jusi, on the contrary, ignored it. covering his head to sleep more, leaving the brothel madam extremely bewildered. The next second, Lu Yuru kicked the door open and walked in. Then with a dark expression and sharp eyes, she yelled loudly, "Gu Juicy, get up for me right now." Under these circumstances, the madam was so terrified she ran away immediately. Meanwhile, Gu Juicy frowned and reminded her, "So noisy. I told you not to." However, before he could finish his sentence, the sword was at his neck. Lu Yuru coldly ordered, "Get up." In this situation, Gu Juicy hastily forced a smile and said, "Calm down a little, we can talk things through." Lu Yuru didn't care at all, just repeating, "Get up." Seeing this, Gu Juicy quickly obeyed and replied, getting up, I'm getting up right now." As soon as he sat up on the bed, Lu Yuru spoke up. "I didn't know which day my husband would return, so I specifically came to fetch you." Gu Juicy frowned and evaluated. "Bringing a blade to fetch me? Only you could think of this." As soon as he sat down heavily on the chair beside her, Lu Yuru firmly added, "Husband, you've been out for days. You should go home to study and strive for official ranks." Hearing this, Gu Juicy's face went blank. He asked back in shocked confusion, "What did you say?" "You're telling me to go home and study?" Lu Yuru sternly said. "Husband, in 2 more years, you will reach the age of adulthood. You should think about your own future. Your father is already a wealthy merchant. In Yangzhou, he only hopes you pass the civil service exams." Upon hearing these words, Gu Juicy cut in immediately. Stop. I've heard these words thousands of times already." Then he couldn't help but ask, "Listen, Lu Yuru, regarding our marriage. I am also a victim here. Whatever you want, I can give it to you. From now on, we each live our own separate lives. How about that?" To this remark, Lu Yuru just stared at him intently. While pouring tea, Gu Juicy continued speaking. "You know very well what kind of person I am. What's the use of preaching these morals to me?" He spoke while forcing a smile, handing the tea to Lu Yuru. "Let's be practical. The property of my family is enough for me to eat well and dress well for a lifetime. Tell me, what's the point of me studying so bitterly? Let me calculate it for you. Our family's money shop has a net profit of 200,000 a year. Besides, we also have land and stores. When it comes to money, you absolutely won't suffer a loss. We can just be free and live happily for a lifetime. Isn't that all right?" Lu Yuru drank her tea, listening intently to Gu Juicy. Then coldly asked, "But what if we can't choose to live a lifetime?" Hearing this, Gu Juicy found it strange. "What do you mean?" Lu Yuru explained immediately. "Why do you think the Gu family's loans are never defaulted on? Why do they have so much land without others coveting it? It's because your uncle holds a high position in the imperial court. If one day the times change, and the Gu family loses its backing, having wealth but unable to protect it, what kind of outcome do you think there will be? All that silver, relying solely on a wealthy nobody with no backing. Can you really keep it?" Gu Juicy calmly answered. "Then there's nothing we can do about it. If it really comes to that, we just live adapting to the times." Upon hearing this, Lu Yuru slammed the table, leaned close to Gu Juicy, and questioned him. "You have enjoyed glory and wealth your whole life. When the time comes, you can just close your eyes and be done. But what about me, and your parents? Have you ever thought about us?" Meanwhile, he still hadn't grasped the severity of the problem, and casually said, "That's fate, don't overthink it. When the time comes, my parents will figure something out." The more she heard him speak, the more Lu Yuru's hands trembled. Seeing this, Gu Juicy couldn't help but feel scared. Then he immediately leaned closer to reassure her. "Don't be angry anymore, calm down. Lu Yuru coldly continued, "Gu Juicy, do you know that I could have originally married Yi Shan?" Yi Shan was outside, about to knock on the door when he suddenly overheard this. He couldn't help but freeze at Lu Yuru's words. "Do you know that to be able to marry into the Yi family? To be able to marry him? How hard I have tried." With overflowing tears, Lu Yuru said aggrievedly, "Since before I was 10, I learned how to become a person the Yi family would like. I read every single book he has ever read. Copied every letter he sent to Yi Yun. Memorized every rule of the Yi family. I even secretly learned zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting, turning myself into a proper noble lady. I worked so hard for so many years, thinking I was about to succeed. I thought I would marry a husband I desired, and in this life, I would have a good ending. I would respect my husband as a guest, and we would be harmonious and loving. But because of you people from the Gu family destroyed everything. Faced with her pain, Gu Jusi didn't know what to do. Meanwhile, Lu Yuru was so angry her face turned completely red. She yelled out, "It was you who said you wanted to marry me. Gu Jusi, you are so arrogant. Thinking everyone in this world is like you. Not needing to care about what others say. But just one joking sentence from you ruined my entire life." Gu Jusi at this moment could only stammer, "I'm sorry." However, Lu Yuru didn't care about that at all. She directly slapped Gu Jusi in the face and said, "What use is an apology? So many years of my hard work. So many years of my planning. Is one apology from you enough? Gu Jusi, listen clearly. I don't care whether you want this or not. You made me become your wife. You must take responsibility for this matter. What I originally should have had. You must give it all to me." With an extremely serious look, Lu Yuru sternly warned, "I need a husband who stands tall in the world, shouldering the family's great undertakings. Not someone who only knows how to play and indulge in pleasure, relying on his parents whenever things go wrong, like you. However well Yishan can do, you must be able to do just as well." After listening to her speak for a while, Gu Jusi still looked dumbfounded, not knowing what to say. Lu Yuru suddenly pointed the edge of the sword at his neck and said, "From today onwards, if you dare to step foot into these nonsense entertainment places again, if I don't kill you, I will take this knife and slit my own throat right in front of the Gu family's door. Do you hear me clearly?" Under this situation, Gu Jusi couldn't help but reassure her. "Calm down, please calm down." After being outside and hearing the whole story from beginning to end, Yi Xian breathed a sigh of relief and said to himself, "It seems there's no need to worry. That little sister Yuru is being bullied by Gu Jusi. Now it seems that today, Gu Jusi's blood splattering across Chanfeng Pavilion is the most likely possibility." As he left, he thought to himself, "But if he dies at the hands of his principal wife, he dies in the right place." Gu Jusi's face was pale. As he stared intently at Lu Yuru, he thought to himself, "Based on Lu Yuru's physical skills, I could snatch this knife before she makes a move. But with her current state, even if she didn't have a knife, she would still use her life to argue this matter with me. Could it be she like Shi Shan?" Thinking of this, he felt a bit wronged and frowned. Then he gently spoke up. "You, put the knife away, we will go home and talk." Hearing this, Lu Yuru put the blade down. Then her expression did a 180-degree turn as she smiled and replied, "All right." Seeing her like that, Gu Jusi truly had nothing more to say. Gu Jusi suddenly turned around. And seeing that, Lu Yuru quickly blocked his path and asked, "What do you want to do?" Then she immediately pulled Gu Jusi to leave right away. "No need, everything is already prepared at home. Let's go home." This left Gu Jusi feeling extremely helpless. "Is it really necessary? I just need to change clothes." "Is this necessary?" Just like that, she pulled Gu Jusi away under the witness of everyone present. As they walked, Gu Jusi reminded her, "Slow down a bit." Seeing this, the people around couldn't help but burst into laughter with amusement. "Oh, isn't this the young master of the Gu family? Getting caught by his wife?" Gu Jusi frowned in annoyance, turning back to scold. "What are you looking at? Aren't you afraid of going blind from staring?" Outside the palanquin, sitting inside the palanquin, Gu Jusi gloomily spoke up. "If you wanted to find me, just find me. It's not like I wouldn't listen. Making such a huge scene. Where am I supposed to put my face?" Hearing these words, Lu Yuru calmly replied right away. "You won't need face anymore in the future." Gu Jusi, filled with anger, retorted. "Why wouldn't I?" Immediately, Lu Yuru swiftly tossed a stack of books at him and reminded, "From today on, don't go out randomly. Study hard, and wait for Yi Shan's exam results to be announced. Whatever he scores, whenever you take an exam in the future, you cannot be worse than him." The more he heard, the more visibly annoyed Gu Jusi became. "Lu Yuru, are you really that vain? What does his exam score have to do with me?" Lu Yuru's face suddenly darkened. She coldly stated, "If I hadn't married you, I would be Madam Yi." Seeing this, Gu Jisi didn't argue any further. "I won't compare with him." Handing the books toward him, Lu Yuru added, "You can't win, right? It's fine. I don't expect you to win. Nor do I care about your shame. Anyway, you have to read these books. Even if you don't want to, you must." Under this situation, Gu Jisi firmly protested. "I won't read. Let's see what you can do to me. I want to get off the carriage, Before he could finish, Lu Yuru took out the sword again and sternly warned, If you get off the carriage today, it's either you die or I die. Anyway, my life is already ruined." Seeing her like this, Gu Jisi didn't make a fuss anymore. Sitting obediently in his spot and said, "Death this, death that all day. Why don't you talk about something lucky?" As soon as he arrived home, he rushed inside and cried out, "Father, mother, I am being pushed to death." Seeing his behavior, Lu Yuru simply relaxed, eating fruit while asking, "Does he normally exaggerate like this?" The female subordinate beside her forced a smile and replied, "The eldest young master is always out of tune." Gu Jisi knelt down in front of Jiang Ro and complained, "Father, mother, you must stand up for me. Lu Yuru, she put a knife to my neck and threatened me, forcing me to read books." Seeing him like this, Jiang Ro couldn't help but comfort him. All right, stop crying, mind your throat." Meanwhile, Lu Yuru also came in and greeted them. "Father, mother." As soon as she finished speaking, she thought to herself, "I always thought my mother-in-law was a heroine among women. And my father-in-law could also be considered an elegant figure of his time. I didn't expect that in front of Gu Jisi I would realize where Gu Jisi's personality came from." Gu Jisi suddenly turned his face toward her and said, "You." However, seeing that terrifying face, Gu Jisi turned back and said to his mother, "Mother, you must take charge for me. I won't read books. I don't want to read books. Reading books gives me a headache. My whole body hurts, I feel miserable." Jiang Ro's heart softened completely. Immediately sympathizing along, "No more reading, no more reading. Forget it, I will think of a way." Hearing this, Lu Yuru immediately reminded them, "Mother, the eldest young master is almost 18. Yet he is still like a child. As parents, you must think about your child's future. Isn't that right?" Then she quickly placed her hand on Gu Jisi's shoulder and added, "Mother and father, go rest. I will take my husband back, you two don't need to worry." Seeing this, Gu Jisi, with tears welling up in his eyes, adorably called out, "Mother." Gu Langhua, sitting next to Jiang Ro, immediately spoke up. "Rower. Since we've already discussed it, let Yuru manage him." Hearing this, Jiang Ro immediately pushed Gu Jisi away and said, "Juicy, mother is also doing this for your own good." Right away, they left under the horse. Screams of Gu Jisi, "Father! Mother!" Gu Jisi froze right on the spot. Meanwhile, Lu Yuru approached him, smiling gently as she reminded, "Husband, get up quickly and go study." Gu Jisi stepped back in fear. Then asked her, "What did you do to my mother?" Lu Yuru sat down on the chair and calmly replied, "My husband, I did all of this for your own good." Gu Jisi hurriedly grabbed her hand and said, No, Miss Lu, Sister Yuru, Fairy Lu. I was wrong. As long as it's not reading, you can ask me to do anything. I have been in poor health since childhood. I get a headache whenever I read." Before he could finish, Lu Yuru interrupted. "You also get stomach aches and body aches. Right?" Gu Jisi quickly agreed, right. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Yuru coldly said, "Then what does that have to do with me? I only care whether I can become an ennobled lady or not." Hearing this from her, Gu Jisi stood straight up and angrily shouted, "Lu Yuru, don't push me too far. If you keep this up, I will. Lu Yuru, on the contrary, calmly replied, "What will you do?" Gu Jisi sternly stated, "I will divorce you." Gu Langhua and Jiang Ro were not far away, standing in a corner eavesdropping. Hearing these words, Gu Langhua was filled with anger, fully equipped and ready to go out and teach this brat a lesson. However, Jiang Ro quickly stopped him. Let Yuru handle it, don't interfere. Lu Yuru. In the current situation, just coldly asked. I'll ask you one last time. Are you going to read or not? Gu Jisi clearly answered. I will not. As soon as his words fell, Lu Yuru sternly ordered, Wang Shou, lock him in the study for me. Hearing this, Gu Jisi became extremely smug and laughed, saying, This is my house. How could Wang Shou listen to you? Meanwhile, the servants in the distance were rushing in aggressively. The next second, they grabbed Gu Jisi by the arms and spoke. Eldest young master, pardon our offense. Under this situation, he could only helplessly cry out. Wang Shou, even you betrayed me? Wang Shou calmly replied. This is not called betrayal. My master now is the young madam. While pushing Gu Jisi into the study, the servant said, Eldest young master, please. This left him utterly stunned. Hey. The next second, Gu Jisi stood inside yelling, locking me up is one thing. But you have to give me some food. The people outside immediately answered, Eldest young master, Phi Hok Thwak by Dao Tian Kual Wan Go. You must memorize the first chapter of the Analects, before you can eat. Hearing this, Gu Jisi was furiously stomping his feet, firmly declaring. Damn it, just starve me to death then. However, before he could do anything, Gu Jisi's stomach growled. Right at this moment, a fragrance suddenly wafted over from somewhere. The fragrant roast lamb leg spread throughout the space. Outside, everyone was eating and chatting happily. Joyful laughter rang out everywhere. This lamb leg is crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Miss, you try it. Thank you, young madam, for bestowing the wine. The aroma is rich and it has a sweet aftertaste. It is indeed good wine. Gu Jisi inside the room, on the contrary, tried to tell himself. It's just roasted lamb leg. Who hasn't eaten it before? However, after just a few seconds, he was drooling, thinking to himself. But the smell is really good. Will I really die from not eating for one day? The next second, Gu Jisi resolutely thought. If I must learn, I'll learn. Who's afraid of who? It's just one chapter of the Analects. That night, outside, Lu Yuru's group was still chatting merrily. Gu Jisi's voice from afar made Lu Yuru slightly surprised. Lu Yuru. Open the door for me. Even leaving just the bone is fine. I've memorized it. Lu Yuru approached the door and asked. Is my husband hungry? Gu Jisi, with a pale face, replied. I haven't eaten anything all day. You tell me if I'm hungry or not. Hearing this, Lu Yuru immediately answered. Then I will open the door for you right away. But once you come out, you must obediently recite Shui Er. Only then can you eat. Do you have any objections? Gu Jisi quickly said. Okay, hurry up. The door was slowly pulled open. The next second, Gu Jisi rushed out swiftly. While eating the lamb, he fluently recited the passage. Shui Er 11G. Bu Yu Hu. Yu Pung Zi Yuan Fang Lai. Bu Yi La Hu. Ren Bu Ji Er Bu Yun. Bu Yi Jun Zi Hu. Yu Zi Yu, Chi Wei Ren Yi Xiao Di. Er Hao Fan Shangsha, Xian Yi. After a while, Gu Jisi slammed the cup on the table. And then confidently spoke up. How about it? Awesome, right? Do you worship me? Seeing this attitude of his, Lu Yuru could only force a smile and think to herself. Like an overgrown child. Just made a small achievement. And rushed to show off. After eating and drinking his fill, Gu Jisi turned to leave. Alright, I'm going to sleep now. However, Lu Yuru called out to her husband. Hearing this call, Gu Jisi froze in fear. Lu Yuru stood in front of him, smiled, and spoke up. How about I introduce a bit? About your upcoming life? Ko nine tu vua zoe nuoi roi di vua bao. No need. No, thank you. Seeing this, Lu Yuru immediately reminded him. Come back. Instantly, Gu Jisi helplessly approached her. Dejectedly saying, I'm coming. Lu Yuru gently spoke. Go prepare hot water. To serve the young master's bath. The subordinate quickly obeyed. Answering, yes. Outside, the sky had darkened completely. After finishing his bath, Gu Jisi, fully dressed, knelt on the floor. Looking at him, Lu Yuru in front of him smiled and thought to herself. I must say, Gu Jusi isn't bad looking. People all say Yishan is like a plum blossom immortal. But in terms of appearance, Gu Jusi is truly the immortal. Looking on the bright side. Although Gu Jusi is a bit absurd, his personality is good and he's handsome. I'm not losing out on this marriage with money. While she was absorbed in her thoughts, Gu Jusi suddenly spoke up. Whatever you want to say it quickly. I'm tired. I want to sleep. Lu Yuru happily replied, it's like this. I spoke with your former teacher about your learning progress and made a study plan for you. Hearing this, Gu Jusi broke out in a cold sweat and asked, are you trying to force me to death? Meanwhile, Lu Yuru still calmly replied, every 5 days, I will go with you to the shop to see how your parents-in-law handle affairs. Every month, you will have 3 days off to arrange freely. But you cannot go to places like brothels. This statement left Gu Jusi utterly shocked. Only 3 days? Lu Yuru smiled wickedly and coldly asked back. Does the young master think it's too long? It's not beneficial for your advancement. How about changing it to 1 day? Under her terrifying demeanor, Gu Jusi hurriedly replied. No, 3 days is fine. 3 days is pretty good. Lu Yuru continued to remind him. During this time, my husband must quit drinking. Quit playing around. I have already requested the invitations for you. If it's suitable, I won't stop you. If not, I'll decline. So as not to affect your mood. From now on, you should wear the clothes you wore today. Gu Jusi froze for a moment and said. That's not right. Wearing this every day isn't good. Lu Yuru immediately smiled and explained. It's okay. I prepared 3 sets for you. You change 1 set a day, guaranteed to be exactly the same. Under this situation, Gu Jusi could only helplessly cry inside, thinking. Very well, Lu Yuru, you are truly ruthless. Meanwhile, Lu Yuru still leisurely and gently asked. Do you have anything you want to say? Gu Jusi suddenly stood straight up, aggressively and angrily shouting. Lu Yuru, what are you trying to do exactly? Are you trying to torture me to vent your anger? Because you couldn't marry him, so you thought of this way. To force me to read? Lu Yuru, with her eyes lowered, gently replied right away, my husband knows that Yuru's lifelong honor and disgrace are tied to her husband. My friends all know my relationship with the Yi family. Now that I've married you, I don't know how many people are waiting to laugh at me. I am also just a secular person. I want to live a slightly more beautiful life. That can make me not be mocked someday. Hearing these words from her, Gu Jusi suddenly softened his voice and comforted. I can buy you beautiful clothes and hairpins. However, Lu Yuru refused immediately. Those things are useless. You have money, but over these years, haven't you been mocked enough? This sentence made Gu Jusi suddenly freeze and ponder. When I was young, I also wanted to excel, but being compared and mocked for so long, I got used to it. Being a playboy is better than trying hard and then getting mocked again. Meanwhile, Lu Yuru still smiled and spoke up. Actually, you are very smart. You understand what I say. You originally could have become an outstanding talent. Shouldering responsibilities, you just didn't want to. Now the situation has changed. Haven't you ever thought of changing? Your parents will grow old too. They can't protect you for a lifetime. Even if you don't think for yourself, you should think for them. If we are humiliated in the future, you can only stare helplessly. How would you feel? The more he listened, Gu Jusi became so embarrassed his face turned red. Then he boldly asserted. Loi nu I tadu hyu. But that day will never come. Lu Yuru immediately asked. Because your parents have paved a clear path for you. Right? She slowly stood up. Then, as she walked past Gu Jusi, she coldly reminded him. In the end, are these words you comforting yourself? Or others comforting you? Is it that you don't dare to face reality? Or do you really know nothing? I asked you to read, it's actually not meaningless, because I know you can. I know Yishan spent a lot of effort. I also know how smart you are. What Yishan can do, you can do too. It's just that you've never tried. Under this situation, Gu Jusi could only helplessly reply. I can't. I really can't. Lu Yuru quickly frowned and affirmed. No, you can. This resolute attitude of hers surprised Gu Jusi immensely. Her face suddenly softened as she gently spoke. Gu Juicy, even if it's for me, try your best once. Okay? Gu Juicy's face clearly showed shock and astonishment. Meanwhile, Lu Yuru's face was very serious and resolute. Resolute. Under this situation, Gu Juicy couldn't help but feel ashamed, thinking. Lu Yuru is right. I must give back the things I made her lose. It's just that surpassing Yi Shan is a bit difficult for me. I have been in poor health since childhood. Although I learn fast, reading for a long time gives me a headache. Back then, the teacher took out the book on time every day. I might not remember a single word I read. I couldn't read any word I hadn't seen before. So I couldn't avoid the scolding from the teacher. Yi Shan sat behind me. Every time after I embarrassed myself, he would stand up and fluently continue reading. So every time the teacher came, he would tell my father. Even my parents praised Yi Shan's intelligence. At first, I was unconvinced and would hide to cry. Back then, Jiang Ro approached him and gently comforted. Baby, don't cry anymore. If you can't compare, then don't. Our family doesn't rely on studying to make a living. As long as you are happy. In Gu Juicy's stream of thought. Later, the words my parents used to comfort me. I took them all to heart. And became willful. After all, they said it's fine as long as I'm happy. Now Lu Yuru says this. I also feel a bit scared inside. Like for the first time, someone acknowledges me. Saying I am better than Yi Shan. I don't want to disappoint her. Thinking of this, Gu Juicy stammered and spoke up, I will try. Hearing these words of his, Lu Yuru was immensely surprised. Gu Juicy turned his face away while blushing and said. You go to sleep first. I'll read a little bit. Lu Yuru couldn't help but smile at this cute attitude. Thinking to herself, just a child at heart. Then she quickly went back into the room and reminded In Hong. Tell the kitchen to prepare soup for the young master. I hear his voice is a bit hoarse. Let him warm his throat. This made In Hong utterly confused. Miss, why are you being so good to him? You are just too kind-hearted. If it weren't for him, you would be young Madam Yi now. Why do you have to expend so much effort? This isn't getting married, this is clearly getting an extra child. Hearing that, Lu Yuru immediately tapped lightly on In Hong's head and replied. Nonsense, In Hong. From now on, don't call me miss anymore. Call me young madam. I know you feel it's unfair for me, but people have to look forward. Actually, the Gu family has 10,000 ways to deal with me. But they have always been good to me. Even if we calculate this marriage, it was because Zhang Yuer played tricks. And my father was greedy for money. Acting out at the Gu family doesn't do me any good. No matter how good they are, they won't tolerate me forever. Since I'm already young Madam Gu, eating the Gu family's food, wearing the Gu family's clothes, I shouldn't have other intentions. It's better to let go and live well. Upon hearing this, In Hong poured tea for Lu Yuru and said. That's true, but I still feel sad for you. After all, eldest young Master Yi is much better than the Gu family. Lu Yuru smiled and evaluated. If I took a knife to block Yi Shan today, would he still sit down and talk to me? The Gu family looks fierce on the outside, but their personalities are actually better than Yi Shan's. He's skilled in martial arts, but didn't want to harm the family, so he obediently let himself be locked in the study. Moreover, he is much smarter than I imagined. Just lacks ambition. Over at Gu Juicy's place. Upon seeing the scene in front of him, he froze for a moment. Seeing this, Munan beside him called out immediately. Young master. Gu Juicy hurriedly signaled him to stop talking. Then he gently peeked inside. It was Lu Yuru. He watched her talking attentively. Then he couldn't help but tell himself. She's a good girl, I must let her live a good life. I cannot let down her expectations. The next morning, as soon as Lu Yuru woke up, she asked. Why hasn't the eldest young master returned to the room yet? In Hong immediately replied. The eldest young master slept in the study last night. Hearing this, Lu Yuru asked further, is he awake? In Hong stood nearby, smiling and answered. Not yet. Munan has been waiting outside the door early, saying he couldn't wake him up. He asked you to go over. In the study, Gu Juicy was curled up, sleeping soundly among a pile of books. Seeing Lu Yuru outside, Munan quickly spoke up. Young madam, I've called several times, but the young master didn't hear. Lunak nu mim koi nain hang bao. It's okay, bring some water. Outside, bright red flowers bloomed across the sky. Gu Jisi was sleeping very soundly. The next second, a scoop of cold water suddenly appeared from nowhere and splashed right onto Gu Jisi's face. Seeing this, he immediately jumped up and shouted angrily. Who poured cold water on me early in the morning? Munan, holding the water scoop, stood not far away. Feeling terrified and thinking to himself, it's over. The young master is going to be angry. Lu Yuru, with a face full of coldness, immediately spoke up, my husband. Did you sleep well? Contrary to her attitude, Gu Jisi brightly smiled and gently replied. Miss Lu is really thoughtful. Even coming all the way here to wake me up. Then, full of diligence and hard work, he affirmed. Rest assured. I will definitely pass the exam and beat Yi Shan. Hearing that, Lu Yuru was immensely surprised. Thinking to herself, it's only been one night. Why does he seem like a different person? Gu Jisi smiled and continued, wait until I pass the exam. And help you get a proper title. At that time, we won't owe each other anything. You can go find your own happiness. And I can find my happiness too. Right? Lu Yuru happily replied. Of course. Hearing this, Gu Jisi boldly affirmed. Don't worry. I will help you take back everything you've lost. In the following time, even while eating, Gu Jisi also tried hard to read books. Lu Yuru sat beside him, picking up food for him while cheerfully announcing, my husband, the teacher is arriving soon. Just like that, Gu Jisi diligently studied with the teacher again. Munan stood nearby, always cheering enthusiastically. Come on, young master, after finishing writing this. There's only one subject left for tonight. Outside, the stars and moon sparkled across the sky. The dim lights shone in the manor. Lu Yuru supported a trembling Gu Jisi and spoke. My husband, hold on a little longer. You still have to memorize one more section of the Analects. Hearing these words, Gu Jisi trembled violently. Then he tightly hugged Lu Yuru and complained. I can't take it anymore. Lu Yuru, let me go to sleep. I really can't take it anymore. I can't study anymore. Upon hearing that, Lu Yuru sternly reminded him right away. Gu Jisi, wake up. Can you memorize it or not? Gu Jisi quickly stood straight up to solemnly answer, yes. The next second, he tried to sit at the desk to study. Staring intently at him, Lu Yuru smiled and thought to herself, it seems I've left quite a psychological shadow on him. Then she quickly closed the door to let Gu Jisi focus on studying. Lu Yuru gently turned her head. Gu Jisi had fallen asleep at some point. Even so, his mouth didn't stop muttering. Pass the exam, beat Yi Shan. Pass the exam, beat Yi Shan. Pass the exam, beat Yi Shan. Lu Yuru took a blanket and gently covered the soundly sleeping Gu Jisi. The Roy Ko Mim Koi Noi. You've worked hard, my husband. Outside, fireflies illuminated the empty space. 10 days later, holding a book, Gu Jisi loudly read. To be an official, one must have virtue. Right at this moment, Munan hurriedly entered and announced. Young Master Yi, this is bad. This is bad. Gu Jisi quickly asked. What's wrong? What about Yi Shan? Munan, panting, tried hard to reply, Young Master Yi. Young Master Yi topped the list and became the GUN. Hearing this news, Gu Jisi's face showed panic and extreme shock. He couldn't help but be stunned. Immediately dropping the book and thinking to himself. First in the palace examination. In the future, he might also place first in the metropolitan examination. First in the provincial examination. Always number one. I risked my life this much. But I'm afraid I still can't catch up to him. As his thoughts ended, Gu Jisi suddenly went limp and collapsed. Seeing this, Munan hurriedly shouted loudly, Young Master. Young Master, what's wrong? Call the doctor quickly, the young master has fainted. Young master, you must stay strong. Outside the room, the sunlight was still blazing. Gu Jisi lay uncomfortably on the sickbed. As soon as Jiang Ro saw that, she immediately spoke up. Yuru, things cannot be rushed. Our child hasn't suffered since childhood. Now you make him work so hard. Something bad will happen. Lu Yuru hurriedly bowed her head and replied right away. Mother is right. I know I was wrong. Jiang Rou continued to add. But you don't necessarily have to force him to read. If Juicy isn't suitable for it, don't push him too hard. Hearing this, Lu Yuru was full of doubts. Then what is he suitable for? Father has great martial arts skills, how about letting him? Hearing these words, Jiang Rou was startled. Then hastily retorted. No, no. Our family only has one child, Juicy. The battlefield is too dangerous. What if something happens? The more she listened, the more Lu Yuru sighed dejectedly. Then she gently spoke up. Mother, in my heart. You have always been the smartest woman. Why is it that when it comes to my husband, you can't think it through? If he can't follow the path of martial arts, then he can only follow the path of academics. But whether in business or as an official, who doesn't need to read books? These words from her made Jiang Rou fall silent instantly. Meanwhile, Lu Yuru continued to speak. My husband has no biological siblings, and relatives are far away in the eastern capital. In the future when father and mother grow old, who will help my husband manage the family business? Mother. You have to think about my husband's future as well. He has to endure hardship now, because he was too carefree when he was young. People must go through equal shares of things in life. If he doesn't endure hardship now, he will have to suffer twice as much later. Do you think that's right, Mother? Accepting the teacup, Lu Yuru poured tea as Jiang Rou answered, You are right. Lu Yuru continued to smile and said, Furthermore, these past few days, I have observed my husband's talents. He is not inferior to anyone else. So I hope that from now on, Father and Mother won't say he can't do anything anymore. In my eyes, even if my husband passes as the top scholar, I wouldn't find it strange. After listening to her persuasion for a while, Jiang Rou immediately agreed, You are right. It was my husband and I who thought too narrowly. You are a good child. With Juicy marrying you, I am very relieved. This praise made Lu Yuru blush in embarrassment. After they finished discussing, Jiang Rou prepared to leave and reminded. It's getting late. I have to go back to the shop to handle some business. When Juicy is better, I'll take you to visit your home, and you should spare some time too. I will take you to check out a few shops. This made Lu Yuru immensely surprised and shocked. She couldn't help but think to herself. In other families, letting a wife manage properties and discuss business is rare. But in the Gu family, it's a normal occurrence. Mother telling me to check out some shops probably means she wants me to gradually take over the family properties. Finishing her thoughts, she smiled and replied. Yes. Lu Yuru gently pushed the door open. Seeing that Gu Juicy had woken up, she quickly inquired. My husband, do you feel any better? Gu Juicy replied, I'm fine now. Do I have to read now? Vua tien lai gon on lunak nu vua vui vi noi. Just rest for today. I'll chat with you for a bit. Gu Juicy sternly and coldly replied. I don't want to talk. Lu Yuru helplessly tried to persuade him. Then chat with me. Nai jie sao koda nain hang noi. Your mother asked me to go check out some shops with her. I guess she wants me to manage the business with her. Seeing her look so excited and thrilled, Gu Juicy found it strange. Isn't it just doing business? Why are you so happy? However, right after saying that, he immediately thought to himself. That's right, previously when she was still at the Lu family. Then he quickly spoke up. My mother letting you go with her is probably to see if you are suitable for this. In the future, if I become an official, the Gu family's business cannot be neglected. It's better to hand over full authority for you to manage. This statement of his surprised Lu Yuru immensely. Every word he said kept repeating in her mind, hand over to you. Hand over to you. Gu Juicy suddenly leaned close to Lu Yuru and said. The future of the Gu family will depend on you. What's wrong? Are you so happy that you froze? Hearing this, Lu Yuru anxiously asked. Then tell me. Can I do it? Her look surprised Gu Juicy immensely. He couldn't help but tell himself, it turns out. When facing the unknown, I'm not the only one who feels anxious and uneasy. Then he couldn't help but burst into laughter and happily evaluated. Lu Yuru, you finally have this day. Seeing that, Lu Yuru became furious, growling every single word, Gujusi. Seeing her fiercely approaching him, Gujusi was extremely terrified, immediately shouting loudly, "Don't come any closer. Spare me, young lady. You're the best. You're the fiercest, okay?" Lu Yuru hastily retorted. "Who are you calling fierce, Gujusi?" Gujusi held her hand tightly and had to give in. All right. Stop pinching, I yield." Lu Yuru blushed and softly ordered him to let go. But Gujusi wasn't easily subdued and said, "Then you must not pinch me anymore either." Lu Yuru turned and quickly sat down. She squinted slightly and whispered, "You should rest for a bit. Take 2 days to visit my family with me." Gujusi sat up, smiling gently as he replied, "All right, but you shouldn't worry too much. You can even manage me. Aren't those small shops too simple for you?" Lu Yuru was slightly surprised by Gujusi's words. She looked at him, then shyly looked down. Suddenly, as if remembering something, she quickly turned to him. "Right, when we go to my house, talk less. Just behave well in front of me." Gujusi smiled brightly and replied, "Don't worry. I guarantee I will make you proud." Lu Yuru had one more thing to say. "Also, I want to put concubine Jane's youngest child, Ronger, under my mother's name." Gujusi looked at her with clear, sparkling eyes. Making her unable to say more, she sighed and mumbled, "Never mind." Early the next morning, everyone together set off to welcome Lu Yuru back. Gujusi stepped out of the carriage first, then attentively held her hand and gently helped her down. "Be careful, madam." Madam Lu and Lu Xian looked at her with tearful, longing eyes. The madam called out softly, "Yuru." She stepped forward, holding the madam's hand to comfort her. Mother. She felt great joy in her heart. After so many years, Mother finally sees the light at the end of the tunnel and returns to her position as the main wife. Gujusi also put on a sad face, appearing right behind her. "Madam, why are you crying? Is there something wrong?" Lu Yuru felt somewhat helpless and said to herself, "I told him to behave well in front of me. But there's no need to act this fake." Then she quickly regained her joyful expression and smiled back. "I'm just so happy to see father and mother again that I cried." Lu Yuru bowed to pay her respects. "Your daughter greets father and mother." Ko 92 Kung Lap Tuccui Nuoi. Jute by Kian Nak Fu. And mother-in-law. Lu Xian was overjoyed and replied, Good. You must be tired from a long journey. The meal has been prepared. Come inside and rest." Later, Lu Yuru sat catching up with her mother. "I haven't been home these past few days. Has anything happened?" Her mother calmly recounted. "Now Zhang Yuer only cares about Yining and argues with your father quite often. Your father gets a headache seeing them, so he comes to my place more frequently. I don't think much of it either. I no longer care whether he comes or not. It's just that people see him supporting me, so they treat me much better now." "What about you? How is that eldest young master of the Gu family?" Lu Yuru smiled and replied, "Mother, Juicy is much better than the outside rumors. He treats me very well. You also saw it during the meal just now. How well he treated me." She recounted the times Gujusi attentively took care of her. "I picked out all the fish bones. Madam, have a taste. Madam, the tea is still hot, let me blow on it for you. Your hands are so cold. Let me have someone bring a hand warmer for you. Madam. Her mother was somewhat doubtful. At home, does he also act like this?" Lu Yuru smiled gently. "Mother, don't worry, he really treats me very well." Her mother, feeling reassured, stood up and stepped outside. "That's good then. If a woman can be loved by her husband like this, she has nothing to worry about for the rest of her life." Lu Yuru looked at her mother's retreating figure and secretly pondered in her heart. "I used to think mother was right, but now I can't agree. However, mother has thought like this her whole life, so it's really hard to change now." She suddenly remembered something important and spoke up with a somewhat serious tone in her voice. Mother, now that the relationship between you and father is better, you should take this opportunity to plan for the future. Currently, you have no son. Why not adopt a child as an heir? Right now. Concubine Yu's youngest child is just over 2 years old. How about I talk to father about this afternoon? What do you think? Her mother was startled by her words. Turned around and expressed her worry. I think that might not be a good idea. Lu Yuru replied, don't worry, Jissi will help me. At the dinner table that evening, the atmosphere was gloomy. Lu Yuru spoke up to break the ice. Little brother Ronger is almost 2 years old now, right? Can he speak yet? Zhang Yue replied briefly. That's right, he's almost 2. Even though he doesn't speak clearly, he knows how to call for his mother. She bent down, smiled, and taught the boy to say, Ronger, come here and call mother for everyone to hear. Ronger only made a sound that made goo. Juicy, who was sitting nearby, forced a smile. This child is too funny. I couldn't hold it in. But suddenly he caught Lu Yuru's gaze. Like an electric shock. Making him startle, drop his smile. And sit up straight. Lu Yuru gently spoke up. Concubine, please don't blame him. Our Juicy has always been like this. Zhang Yue smiled awkwardly. Young Master Gu is straightforward by nature. There's no need to take offense. Lu Yuru replied with a firm tone. Concubine Yu now has 2 sons. I really admire that. I just think that since I am married now, there should be someone by mother's side to take care of her. Don't you agree? Lu Xian nodded in agreement. Your mother should also have another child under her wing. Zhang Yue was panicked by these words. And blurted out, what? Lu Xian smiled, turned to pat Ronger's head, and looked straight at Zhang Yue. How about this, Yue? Let Ronger be raised by the main wife. But Zhang Yue stepped back to avoid him. Master, Ronger is still small. If he leaves me, it won't do. Gu Jisi took a sip of tea and replied, Concubine Yu. That sounds nice and all. But what man can't be away from his mother? He's not a weak thing either. Concubine. It's better to give the child to the first madam to raise, to prevent him from going down the wrong path. Zhang Yue was visibly annoyed by Gu Jisi's words. She gritted her teeth and thought to herself. I should have killed Su Yuan earlier. And married off Lu Yuru as a concubine to an old man. It's all because I was too soft-hearted. Allowing them the chance to rise up like today. Suddenly, Zhang Yue hugged Ronger. Put on an innocent act, knelt down, and pleaded. With the master. All these years, even without great merit, I have served the Lu family with hard work. Everything I do is for these 2 children. You cannot listen to the fabricated lies of Su Yuan and her daughter, and snatch my child away. Lu Xian didn't listen and ordered loudly. Someone, drag her down. Don't embarrass us here. The servants came in to pull her away, but she struggled and screamed. My child, give my child back to me. Lu Yuru looked at her mother and thought to herself. Mother can finally have peace of mind. Later, when they walked outside, Lu Yuru looked at Gu Jusi, wondering about something. Why was father so easy to talk to today? He leaned on his hand, smiled, and looked at her affectionately, for that, answering, you should praise me. Lu Yuru froze, making him sit up, straight and speak urgently. Why are you spacing out? Praise me quickly. She shyly used a fan to block the sunlight, looked down,
Praise you for
and
what?
asked. Gu Jisi put on a handsome air, crossed his arms, and replied, this afternoon, I talked to your father. About the heir issue. Lu Yuru glanced at him and asked. What did you say? He recounted, at that time I said to him, which noble husband doesn't have a son? If not, they must adopt an heir. Mother-in-law is all alone. Of course I'm worried. Initially, I prepared quite a few gifts for my young brother-in-law. But it's a pity that my wife has no younger brother, and seeing that the concubine has a son. She has bullied my wife quite a few times. Now asking me to give gifts to her child. I am really not happy. Father-in-law, don't you agree? He waved his hand as if he had completed a great task. Like that. Lu Yuru asked directly, by saying that, weren't you too blunt? He gently tapped her head with a fan in his hand and explained. Ah, you always overthink things.
For so many years.
Your father didn't divorce your mother?
Lu Yuru naively scratched her head.
Because divorcing his wife would look bad? Gu Jisi frowned at her. Is your father someone who cares about his reputation?
He didn't divorce your mother.
Because he still needed the Su family's backing.
He favored Zhang.
You are also because he didn't want to offend the Su family.
If your mother had made a fuss earlier, how could she have gotten away with it? Lu Yuru's eyes dimmed.
Men really know how to calculate. Gu Jisi smiled
Men are
faintly.
also human.
And as humans, who isn't greedy for money and power?
In your father's eyes, women
are nothing but tools to exchange for wealth.
And status.
Now that he wants to curry favor with my family, of course he has to treat your mother well.
And meet all my demands. Your father's calculations are very clear.
Lu Yuru looked at Gu Jisi with sparkling eyes.
You are really amazing. He was surprised, then pulled her into his arms and whispered.
Call me husband. Gu Jisi pulled her closer and whispered again. Call me husband. Lu Yuru obediently followed.
Husband, you are really impressive.
But soon after, her curiosity
seemed to bother him a bit. As she kept asking.
Tell me more about Zhang Yuer.
What do you think of this person?
Huh? Gu Jisi closed his eyes and just let out a chaw.
Quickly offered him a cup, curtsied slightly.
Please. He marveled at this gesture and sighed with relief. I've discovered that you really know when to advance and when to retreat. She replied.
Those who achieve great things must have such spirit.
He pulled her into his arms, his other hand taking the teacup. All right, what do you want to ask today? I will tell you everything I know.
Without missing a single word.
Lu Yuru looked up at him and asked.
Then what do you think of Prince Liang?
Hearing that name, Gu Jisi suddenly changed his expression. He became angry and slammed the teacup down, causing the water to splash out. A rebellious traitor. He will surely commit treason in the future.
Lu Yuru saw this behavior and could only stare wide-eyed, thinking to herself, Gu Jisi.
Do you know something? She softly asked.
Gu Jisi said nothing.
Just yawned a long yawn and leaned over to lie in her arms. He replied in a somewhat lazy tone.
I want to sleep.
Don't be noisy. Lu Yuru continuously shook him.
Gu Jisi, wake up.
Answer my question first before you sleep.
Early the next morning, Lu Yuru looked exhausted, as if she hadn't slept all night.
She loudly emphasized every word, calling him, Gu Jisi, Gu Jisi. He lazily wrapped himself tightly in the blanket. Like a cocoon, slowly speaking up.
Didn't you say I could rest?
I'm really tired, truly exhausted, I want to sleep. She leaned close, pulled back the blanket, and demanded. Answer me one more question.
And then I'll let you sleep. Why did you say Prince Liang will rebel?
Gu Jisi replied in a sleepy voice, did I say that?
I was just talking nonsense. I don't remember anything. Lu Yuru refused to give up and shouted, Gu Jisi.
He startled and had to give in to her. I'll say it. I'll say it. He sat up and slowly told her, it's just that I feel Prince Liang is too suspicious a person.
He has troops and power.
He seems to think of the emperor and everything. Even sending his own family members as hostages. But if he is truly that loyal, why not hand over his military power? You see, these past few years of fighting, every time he asks the court for reinforcements.
But observing the battles,
I feel there were several times he could have completely annihilated the enemy in one battle. Yet he didn't do it. Tell me why. I just think.
There's one possibility.
He could defeat the foreign enemies. But he fears the scenario where the cunning hare dies, the hunting dog is boiled. He also knows the emperor suspects him. So he has started plotting rebellion.
It's just that the time hasn't come yet.
So he temporarily pretends to be obedient. He deliberately lets the state of Chen harass the borders,
using these playful skirmishes
to continuously request more troops, accumulating power while waiting for the day to rebel. Lu Yuru asked further. How do you know he could annihilate the enemy in one battle?
He answered concisely. I used to meet quite a few people
from Prince Liang's fief at the gambling den.
They told me the situation over there. I'm just making a wild guess.
It can't be taken as truth. Hearing this, Lu Yuru
pondered for a moment, making him lean close and ask. Nong kio chan cho chang trong long kong and gung sui gi. She tucked the blanket for him, constantly thinking in her heart. Most of what Gu Jisi said makes sense. Even though intelligence reports can be faked. Casual words spoken in a gambling den don't need to be faked. Just then, In Hong pushed the door open and softly called, "Young madam. The madam is calling for you to come over." Lu Yuru walked in and bowed her head in greeting. Mother. Mother smiled and softly replied,
After breakfast,
"Come here, I'll take you to the shop to have a look." Sitting at the dining table, Mother attentively picked up food for her, not forgetting to confide and ask. "Yesterday Juicy followed you back to your maiden home. Was there anything he didn't do well?" She remembered Gu Juicy's words from yesterday. "Call me husband." Recalling this, her face turned red and she stammered her reply. "Yes, it was very good. Juicy helped me a lot." Mother happily replied. "You've worked hard. Once Juicy gets used to studying, you won't need to constantly stick by his side anymore, and can spend more time managing the business." Lu Yuru obediently and softly answered, "I will listen to you, Mother." Mother reminded her, "It's getting late. We should head out to the shop." Outside at the shop, Mother proudly introduced every corner to Lu Yuru. The hierarchy, the different sections for each person. This is shopkeeper Lu. Store locations, business methods, and sources of goods. A while later, returning to the study room with a myriad of documents on the table, Mother gently spoke. "Currently, it is also time for the annual account checking. I will guide you through it once. Later, you can help me check all the account books, all right?" Lu Yuru answered briefly, "Yes." Evening gradually fell. Gu Juicy stepped outside, not forgetting to fan himself with a fan in his hand. He closed his eyes to enjoy the atmosphere at that moment. After studying hard for so many days, I can finally have fun to my heart's content. Suddenly, a voice called from behind, making his mood feel like it was cut short halfway. "Young master, you're out playing this late. What about the young madam?" He quickly got close to the edge of the door and slowly listened inside. At this hour, she must be asleep, right? He softly opened the door. Lu Yuru, she was. She had fallen asleep exhausted on the study desk. He stepped forward and called gently. "Lu Yuru, wake up, go sleep in the bed. Why fall asleep on the desk like this?" Feeling helpless, he scooped her into his arms. Lu Yuru mumbled. "You're back?" Gu Jisi was surprised, thinking to himself. "I came back this late and she isn't scolding me?" He quickly laid her down on the bed and whispered tenderly, "Say no more, just go to sleep." Then he turned and asked his servant, "What did the young madam do today to be so tired?" The servant replied, "I just went to ask around." Today the first madam took the young madam to familiarize herself, and even handed over the task of checking to the young madam. Hearing this, he was surprised. Such a major task was given to her? The servant answered affirmatively, "That's right. Everyone says the first madam is grooming the young madam." Before long, matters in the household will probably all be decided by the young madam. He felt somewhat helpless, looking at Lu Yuru and thinking, aren't they already decided by her now? He looked at her gently and softly spoke. "From now on, she will have to supervise my studies and manage the accounts at the same time. Wouldn't that be too exhausting?" He sat at the desk to help Lu Yuru finish the work. But when he saw the sleep-deprived eyes of In Hong, he couldn't help but blurt out, "Miss In Hong, if you're sleepy, go rest for a bit." In Hong's face was worn out but still full of determination. "No, I promised the miss that I must strictly supervise your studies." Gu Jisi could only sigh helplessly, thinking to himself, as expected. From then on, every day Lu Yuru woke up earlier than a rooster and went to sleep later than a dog. But supervising my studies was also handed over to In Hong. Initially, she read the account books very slowly. Every day after cross-checking, she would go to the shop to take inventory. Just like that, she was busy all day long. Sometimes she couldn't finish cross-checking the accounts in time. She even had to stay up late to get it done. In the following days, Lu Yuru buried herself in piles of. Whenever she got sleepy, she would slap herself to stay awake. "Don't sleep. He praised her. I've never seen a girl so hardworking, disciplined, and strict with herself like that. Her figure under the warm candlelight, little by little, etched itself deeply into my life. It's just that at the time, I was completely unaware. In the past, business matters were always decided by my mother-in-law. This time is the first time she let go and allowed me to negotiate on my own. I definitely must not let her down. Then came a day when she went to meet young Master Zhou to discuss business. She introduced herself gently. Young Master Zhou, I am Lu Yuru, the daughter-in-law of the owner of the Jiang family business. Currently, Zhou's trading company is temporarily under my management. Therefore, regarding the fabric matter this time, it will be discussed by me. With you, young master. Young Master Zhou smiled and replied. Young madam, you are young and talented. You surely must have extraordinary abilities. She got straight to the point. My maiden family's main source of goods is also fabrics. I am very knowledgeable in this matter. I definitely will not disappoint you, young Master Zhou. Lu Yuru and young Master Zhou discussed business together. She brought out a clear contract and asked young Master Zhou. There are 2 copies of the contract. 1 copy for you to keep, young Master Zhou, and 1 copy for us to keep. See if there are any other issues, young Master Zhou? Young Master Zhou remained silent, meaning he agreed. He tactfully asked, it is getting late. Why don't I escort you back, young madam? Lu Yuru cleverly replied. There's no need. I have brought servants with me. Please make yourself at home, young Master Zhou. Young Master Zhou offered. Then let me walk you to the door, young madam. Stepping downstairs, she suddenly bumped into a drunken Wang Rong. He immediately asked, whose young lady is this? In broad daylight, walking out of a private room with another man. And looking so intimate too. Lu Yuru showed a fleeting look of panic and thought to herself. It's Wang Rong. The one who, in my dream, had his leg broken by Gu Juicy and harbored a grudge. The one who killed him was exactly Wang Rong. Young Master Zhou then stepped forward to block her, protect her, and responded to him. Young Master, please watch your words. The madam and I are only discussing business. There is absolutely no inappropriate behavior. The elders in our families all know about this. Young Master, do not speak nonsense. He smirked mockingly. So the elders in your family also allow you to go out and do these things? Young Master Zhou was furious and gritted his teeth. Lu Yuru had to speak up. To resolve the situation, young Master Zhou. This is an official son. Let's not cause a conflict. An upright person is not afraid of rumors. Young Master, don't invite trouble upon yourself. After all, this is young Zhou. The 2 were about to leave, but Wang Rong blocked their way. Don't be in a hurry to leave. Little lady, you've served this young master. Why not come and have some fun with me too? The servant accompanying her had to step forward and speak up. Yes, young master. Our madam is the young madam of the Gu family. Please show some respect, young master. He feigned surprise. Oh, you say she's from the Gu family. Does that make her from the Gu family for sure? She might even be an imposter. He stepped to Lu Yuru, used his hand fan to gently lift her chin. At a glance, she looks pure and innocent. But looking closely, she seems quite interesting. This action visibly disgusted her. And she swatted the fan away from her chin. Young Master Wang. Today I have made my identity clear. If you continue to pretend to be drunk and act wildly, when the time comes, the Gu family with just 1 memorial sent to the capital. I wonder if you could bear the punishment. From your family? Wang Rong couldn't control himself, got angry, swung his hand and shouted, you. But young Master Zhou quickly grabbed his wrist and warned sternly. Young Master Wang. As the son of an official, you must be strict with yourself, to set an example for others. If today you stubbornly insist on feigning drunkenness to cause trouble, do you truly want to make an enemy of the Gu family? He had to leave in silence, but didn't forget to mutter. Oh dear, I'm drunk. Drunk to the point of not seeing clearly anymore. Men, help me down. Lu Yuru sighed, showing a hint of exhaustion. Then looked up at young Master Zhou to express the trouble in her heart. Young Master Zhou, getting you involved this time, I am truly sorry. The Wang family is powerful in Yangzhou. Now that he can't do anything to me, he will definitely make things difficult for you. You should leave Yangzhou quickly. I will handle the fabric business properly. You can rest assured.
Young Master Zhou replied slowly, it's fine. Dealing with this kind of person.
Even if today it wasn't you, young
Madam.
I, Zhou, could not just stand by and watch. Safety comes first.
Let me escort you partway home, young madam.
Lu Yuru slightly bowed her head in gratitude.
Then I'll have to trouble you, young Master Zhou.
On the carriage ride back, Lu Yuru's face was tinged with a slight sadness.
Seeing this, Inhong called out softly, Mississippi.
But she paid no mind. A worry surged in her heart. In the future, when discussing business, if a man and woman are in the same room,
even if accompanied
by servants, it will be hard to avoid gossip.
I don't know how my mother-in-law will handle this.
Moreover, this matter with Wang Rong.
Why did he suddenly appear? Young Master Chu approached the carriage window,
where Lu Yuru was sitting. He spoke up.
So this is the eldest young master of the Gu family.
Truly a young man of spirit. Young madam, don't worry. The eldest young master probably just blurted that out. They will argue a bit and it will be over.
Lu Yuru looked down, hesitating shyly.
That's not it.
Then she looked up, her voice somewhat urgent. Young Master Chu, my husband has a hot temper.
I must go see what's happening.
Thank you for escorting me this far. See you later.
Young Master Chu gently said goodbye. Take care, young madam.
After saying that, Lu Yuru leaned forward and ordered.
Munan, turn back quickly and catch up with the eldest young master. In her heart, she was worried, thinking. If we don't catch up,
the scene from my dream might actually happen.
Meanwhile, Gu Jusi forcefully pushed the door open and shouted. Where's Wang Rong? Wang Rong, drunk among the women, looked up. I wondered who it was. So it's the eldest young master of the Gu family. He held a wine jug and approached provocatively. The Gu family's eldest young master has always loved showing off. Why are you dressed so simply today? Wearing morning clothes? Do you want me to offer you a toast? Without a word, Gu Jusi grabbed Wang Rong's collar and swung his fist, landing a blow on his face. It sent him sprawling to the floor. He hurriedly backed away and asked. Gu Jusi, are you crazy? Gu Jusi stepped forward, grabbed his collar tightly, and smirked. Weren't you acting so arrogant with me just now? Let's see who is the strongest. In Yangzhou City. Try acting tough with your granddaddy again. Wang Rong threatened, if you do this, my father won't let you off. Gu Jusi sneered, your father? Even for your father, I wouldn't let him off. Wang Rong, you insulted my Gu family first. It's only natural that I teach you a lesson. What does your father have to say? Wang Rong shouted back. Nonsense. When did I insult your Gu family? Gu Jusi's face darkened. The person you harassed just now is the young madam of the Gu family. She is my wife. And you say you didn't mess with me? Wang Rong softened his voice, somewhat afraid. You mean that? Juicy, it's all a misunderstanding. I was drunk. I didn't know. Gu Jusi swung his hand and slapped Wang Rong hard. Only know now? Suddenly, two subordinates appeared and supported Wang Rong. One asked, young master, are you all right? Wang Rong stumbled, rubbed his head, and complained. Why are you only here now? I was almost beaten to death by him. He gritted his teeth in anger, word by word. Gu Jusi, you are shameless. Letting a woman go out with men, laughing and talking. Can you blame me for not knowing? A married woman who still has no sense of shame. Like that. Gu Jusi didn't hold back, raising his voice to retort. Your whole family's women live like turtles, hiding in their shells, so you can't stand seeing my wife living freely? I dote on her. Is it a beast like you's turn to comment? Wang Rong said in a mocking tone. Gu Jusi, don't act recklessly with me. Otherwise, be careful, you might cry later. Gu Jusi swung his fist hard. Then let me make you cry right now. The punch sent Wang Rong falling backward. The subordinate frantically shouted, young master. The subordinates were about to attack Gu Jusi, but he wasn't afraid at all. And even challenged them. Who dares to step forward and try? No one dared to make a move. Gu Jusi walked towards Wang Rong, making him crawl backward, mumbling in fear. What are you going to do? Gu Jusi kicked Wang Rong hard in the crotch, making him scream in pain. He stood proudly, his eyes exuding authority, and declared. In my Gu family, men are people. Women are also people. Whatever men can do, They can do too. They must live strong and proud, fearing neither heaven nor earth. In the future, if I hear anyone talking nonsense behind her back, I will break that person's dog legs. He bent down towards Wang Rong and threatened, repeat what I said. Did you hear clearly? Do you still dare to act arrogant? Wang Rong hurriedly replied, eldest young master, I was wrong. In the future, when I see the young madam, I will stay 10 feet away. In this Yangzhou city, you are the boss. You are the greatest. I don't dare to act tough anymore. Only then did he let go, sparing Wang Rong, allowing the subordinates to take him away. Wang Rong walked away, whining, hurry. My leg. Goo. Juicy closed his eyes to calm his mood. But when he opened his eyes, he was surprised to see Lu Yuru standing before him. Gu Juicy lowered his gaze and asked softly. You, why are you still here? Didn't I tell you to go back? Earlier, Lu Yuru had seen Wang Rong being supported out. She thought to herself. Gu Juicy still took action and broke Wang Rong's leg. I was a step too late. It's his fault. What's done is done, now we can only plan for the future. She said nothing, just sighed, let's go back to the manor. Gu Juicy walked behind her and reassured her, don't worry. No matter what, they can't do anything to me. His father is nothing but a Jidushi in Yangzhou. It's just a leg. My uncle is still there. He won't let anything happen. Besides, you did nothing wrong in this matter. Lu Yuru, heavy-hearted, suddenly stopped. But Juicy, the world changes. Even when one is at the height of their success, they should know to leave a way out for themselves. By doing this, Gu Juicy gently wrapped his arm around her shoulders and said softly. I understand what you mean. But he bullied you right to your face. And didn't even spare the Gu family's reputation. If I stayed silent, how would I still be a man? He recognized the people accompanying you. Yet he still dared to play tricks. What did everyone hear? He explained considerately, now he is testing us. If I take a step back, he will push further. Beating him so he stays in bed for a few months can be considered a prior warning. Lu Yuru was stunned, thinking to herself. Wang Rong has never been a deep schemer. He must have heard some clues. Then that dream. Gu Juicy observed her and asked. Are you cold? Without giving her time to answer, he reached his arms forward and embraced her. Is it still cold like this? The two walked and chatted. Gu Juicy poured out his heart, before. I gambled all night with Yang Wenchang and Chen Sun. When it was cold, we huddled together to sleep. So don't misunderstand. I'm not using this as an excuse to take advantage of you. I see you as a sworn brother. Lu Yuru sighed and replied. Then thank you. Gu Juicy looked at her gently. If something happens, there will be a way out. If you are cold, I will put a coat on you. If you are still cold, we can lean on each other a bit. When trouble comes, there will definitely be a way to deal with it. Don't be sad every day. Suddenly, his eyes became more serious. He said, you are already my wife. Even if we separate in the future, as long as we carry the title of husband and wife for one day, I will definitely protect you well. Don't be afraid. As long as I am here, I won't let you suffer any grievances. Who dares to bully you? Lu Yuru also became equally serious. You will break his legs. Gu Juicy replied firmly, exactly. The two continued walking. Lu Yuru looked up at him curiously. You say I understand. Gu Juicy, didn't you hate me a lot before? Marrying me. You are not angry. And you don't make things difficult for me. She thought to herself. Now you wholeheartedly protect me. Gu Juicy replied in a deep voice full of sincerity. I am not someone who cannot distinguish right from wrong. You marrying into this family was basically to bear the responsibility for me. You genuinely care for me. Forcing me to read, making me quit gambling. It's all because you are afraid I will ruin my future. I engrave all these things in my heart. The affection you have for me, I remember deeply. That's the kind of person I am. Whoever treats me well, I will never let them down. Moreover, you marrying into the Gu family was because of my mistake. Not only should I not resent you, I must also protect you, making you not regret marrying me. That is the duty of a husband. Lu Yuru was touched by his words. But she didn't show it, only thinking to herself. In these 3 years, this is the first time someone has treated me so fairly. And so straightforwardly. Passionately, without hiding anything. He can publicly announce. Among people that he dotes on me and treats me well. She softly called, Gu Juicy. You are so good. Being praised by her, Gu Juicy looked full of confidence. Isn't that obvious? I already told you. I am the best in the world. Marrying me, you hit the jackpot. His words and actions made her laugh, thinking to herself. This man really can't take a compliment. As they entered the room, his mother was walking out. Seeing the two, his mother asked. I heard today the eldest young master of the Wang family bullied you. Lu Yuru gently replied. I'm not sure what happened either. He suddenly walked through the door, pretending not to recognize me, and said some unpleasant things. His mother looked a bit worried. It's normal for women to encounter some trouble when going out. Don't take it to heart. But tomorrow I will go find his father. After all, we must get some justice back. Lu Yuru held her mother-in-law's hand and replied. There's no need, mother. The mother looked at Gu Juicy beside her. But Juicy has already taken action. Gu Juicy didn't hide it, crossed his arms and answered briefly. That's right. I said I would break his leg. So I really broke it. The mother looked ready to explode and yelled, Juicy. Juicy, you should grow up. Many things cannot be solved with violence. Today you made such a big scene, turning a reasonable situation into an unreasonable one. Gu Juicy stubbornly replied. Reasonable or not? It's just a smokescreen for the world. Mother, why don't you tell uncle? To think of a way to remove his father from the Jidushi position. That's the only way to eliminate the root of the problem. The mother was helplessly confused. Then she rubbed her forehead and quietly accepted it. All right. I will discuss it with your father. Tomorrow you and he will go to the Wang family to apologize. Lu Yuru beside them looked worried. Mother, don't be angry, take care of your health. The mother ordered, someone. Take the eldest young master to the Buddhist hall. To temper his character a bit. Gu Juicy, with a stubborn attitude, turned and left. No need, I can go myself. The mother turned and held her hand. Yuru, follow me. She gently replied. Yes. Lu Yuru poured a cup of tea and brought it to the mother. She walked over lightly and said. Mother, don't be too troubled. This time Juicy acted a bit impulsively. But it wasn't completely without reason. The Wang family relies on their power to bully people. If we endure it silently, wouldn't we let others despise us? The mother's face showed a momentary thoughtfulness. I understand too. If it were a normal day and Juicy did that, I wouldn't find anything inappropriate. I just fear. Now the emperor has grown suspicious of the Prince of Liang. Hearing this, Lu Yuru was somewhat startled. She stayed silent and listened to the mother continue. As for the specifics, I'm not entirely clear either. But my elder brother and the Prince of Liang have a deep relationship. Juicy is right. Since enmity has been formed, if we can transfer the Wang family out of Yangzhou, that would be the right move. If the emperor really suspects the Prince of Liang, then we absolutely cannot expose any flaws to the capital, implicating my brother. But Juicy doesn't understand. Right now, even his uncle is powerless to help himself. Where would he get the energy to touch the Wang family? The more the mother confided, the more her face showed worry. She took a sip of tea and sighed softly. Lu Yuru sat beside her, also full of thought. It seems the omen in my dream is the day the emperor falls seriously ill and suspects the Prince of Liang, plotting to eliminate his confidant threat before passing away. This forces the Prince of Liang to rebel. When his uncle falls, the Prince of Liang's rebellion will lead to Fan Xian, the Jidushi of Yuzhou, killing him. The world will be in chaos. Now, I fear the Wang family has also heard the news. Just waiting to find a flaw in Gu Juicy, to use it as an excuse to demote his uncle. The Gu family's wealth rivals the national treasury, naturally becoming the target of the Wang family's greed. As she thought and made the connections, she unconsciously bit her lip, her whole body trembling. That action caught the mother's attention, who spoke up to dispel her thoughts. But don't be too panicked. The Wang family doesn't have many spies in the eastern capital. They surely haven't grasped the news so quickly. This time, it might not necessarily be a trap. She looked over and replied politely, No, mother. We cannot harbor vain hopes. Now, you must treat it as if the Wang family has really set a trap for Juicy. We absolutely cannot hand our vulnerabilities right into their hands. If Lord Wang really carries Wang Rong to the Gu manor to apologize, then the bad reputation of the Gu family relying on power to act recklessly will surely spread across the world. You must immediately take Juicy to apologize. You must also make sure that everyone, superiors and subordinates, witnesses it, and is thoroughly convinced. No one will dare to say we are showing favoritism. The mother now completely agreed with Lu Yuru's words. You are right. Prepare the carriage quickly, I will take him right now. Later, the carriage was moving. Inside the carriage, Lu Yuru glanced at Gu Juicy, who was carefree enjoying a chicken leg in his hand. Who gave you that chicken leg? He chewed with his mouth full, looking at her and replied. Munan did. They only said to lock me in the Buddhist hall. They didn't mean to starve me. Only you, this wicked woman, would be so cruel. Lu Yuru gently lowered her head. At first, mother planned to go apologize tomorrow. But His Majesty already suspects the Prince of Liang Wang Rong's matter is likely a trap. But suddenly, Gu Juicy replied decisively, making her startle. I don't regret it. Actually, on the way to beat him up, I also thought it could possibly be a trap. At worst, I'll go apologize with mother and break one of my own legs in front of everyone. Even if this matter reaches the eastern capital, it would be hard to investigate. Saying that, Gu Juicy's face turned slightly serious. The Gu family is about to face a storm. It seems. Lu Yuru said nothing. Just looked up at him, thinking in her heart. At first, I only hoped he could grow and improve. Now he really has shown some maturity. But I actually feel that a person who can forever remain innocent and untouched by life storms is what truly makes people happy. But that gaze made Gu Juicy ask curiously. What kind of expression is that? I'm the one about to have his leg broken and I'm not even sad. What are you sad about? Lu Yuru's eyes became serious. Gu Juicy, rest assured. I will go with you. If your leg is really broken, I will carry you back. Hearing that, Gu Juicy was a bit stunned, but quickly pinched her cheek and teased. It won't be your turn. My Gu family hasn't declined to the point of needing the young madam to carry me. Then he pushed a cup of tea towards her and reassured. All right, don't be sad anymore. I've thought it through. Don't worry, come, drink some hot tea to warm up. But his hand was trembling, making her think to herself. He doesn't say it, he doesn't show it. But deep inside, he is ultimately afraid. His shy, trembling action, then turning away, stirred feelings in Lu Yuru's heart. Gu Juicy is smart. But in his limited life experience, seeing his parents show weakness for the first time, he clearly realizes that he must grow up to face the storms. But deep in his heart, there is still a trace of weakness. Suddenly, he turned to her, lightly touching her hand, and softly said, Yuru. Lu Yuru interjected, don't be afraid. I am here with you. I will help you stand up. You won't lose face. Gu Juicy smiled, relieved. Thank you, my young madam. The carriage pulled to a stop. Lu Yuru gently lifted the curtain, peeked outside, and exclaimed. It's Wang Shantuan. He was walking proudly towards her mother. The mother smiled and greeted. Lord Wang, Lord Wang. What brings you here? I was just about to go to your noble manor to look for you. Lord Wang replied, Madam Gu. I, Wang, was also planning to go to the Gu manor to find Lord Gu and you, madam. I didn't expect to meet you here. My son had a conflict with your noble son at the restaurant. I heard the news and was incredibly worried. So I specifically brought my son here to apologize in person. I hope Lord Gu will forgive us. For the sake of my son, whose leg is already broken, please spare him. This old man is here to apologize on behalf of his son. As he spoke, Lord Wang bowed in greeting. Wang Shantuan bowed. My boy, when he was drunk, didn't know that woman was the young madam of your noble manor. He felt admiration and wanted to make her acquaintance. He didn't expect to offend the eldest young master. Whether we are beaten or scolded, we will accept it. We only hope the Gu family will be magnanimous and let this matter pass. Jiang Ro pondered and didn't answer immediately. But nearby, there were countless whispers and discussions. Young Master Gu is truly too vicious. Young Master Wang merely wanted to get to know the young madam. Yet he had his leg broken. Previously, I heard he secluded himself to study. I thought he had changed his temper. Who knew his personality is just like that? How can someone change just because they say so? Gu Jusi couldn't help but grit his teeth in anger. I didn't expect him to twist the truth, saying I broke Wang Rong's leg out of jealousy. I really want to go out and beat him to death right now. Lu Yuru had to hurriedly stop him. Don't be so rash. Let's wait for mother to call us out before saying anything. On the other side, Jiang Ro spoke up, replying to Wang Shantuan. My son is hot-tempered. Seeing your noble son praising my daughter-in-law's beauty, he acted too heavily. It is the fault of our Gu family for not being strict in our teaching. So I immediately brought him here to apologize. At home, I have already strictly scolded him. It is a blessing for my daughter-in-law that young Master Wang noticed her. Someone praising someone else's wife a few words. Wanting her to go out and play for a while. Nothing really happened anyway. Why did he have to strike so heavily? Like that? Don't you agree? Wang Shantuan was suddenly dumbfounded. The crowd standing behind whispered non-stop. So he invited someone else's wife to go out playing. So that's how it is. Then Wang Shantuan gently spoke up to ease the situation. Madam, you misunderstand. My son only admired the young madam's aura. Furthermore, at that time, he really didn't know. She was the young madam of the Gu manor. If he knew, he absolutely wouldn't dare to tease her. Now his leg is also broken. Please, madam, give my son a way to survive. Gu. Juicy dashed out, brushing past Lu Yuru, making her startle and scream. Juicy. Wang Shantuan was still explaining. Now my son's leg is broken. I know you have prejudices in your heart, madam. Whatever I say is hard to justify. This old man has no choice but to use the little dignity left in his twilight years to beg for your leniency, madam. Please spare my son. Suddenly, a loud voice echoed, don't kneel. Gu Jusi's hands grabbed Wang Shantuan's arms and said, Lord Wang, please give the Gu family a way to survive. His action surprised everyone. The space suddenly went silent. Lu Yuru looked through the small window. I told him to be soft. Then she hurriedly followed him out, approached and said, Lord Wang, I am truly sorry. My husband is impulsive. Still acts like a child. Please do not blame him. Juicy, stop causing trouble. Apologize right now. Gu. Juicy grabbed Lord Wang's shoulders tightly, unexpectedly lifting him up, and said with a completely serious attitude, Lord Wang, regarding today's matter, my striking young Master Wang is my fault. I am willing to apologize. But before that, I hope young Master Wang will apologize to my wife first. Juicy gripped the shoulders tightly, causing Wang Shantuan to helplessly say, Young Master Gu, knowing how to be forgiving and magnanimous is a good thing. Finally, he put Wang Shantuan down. His gaze and voice remained unchanged. Today, my wife went to the restaurant to discuss business. Young Master Wang completely misunderstood and made flirtatious remarks. My wife is gentle and wanted to leave. But young Master Wang forced her to stay and keep him company. Young Master Wang appeared from somewhere, shouting in denial. You're lying. I merely praised the young madam a few words, asking where she was from. How did that become making flirtatious remarks? Gu Jusi's eyes looked as if they wanted to tear him to pieces. The person following my wife is my trusted subordinate. How could you not recognize him? Even if you didn't recognize the subordinate. Even if my wife was just an ordinary girl. Does young Master Wang have the right to rely on his power to tease and insult her? At this time, Wang Shantuan turned his head to look, winking at young Master Wang as a signal. Receiving that signal, he threw himself down, throwing a tantrum, pointing at Gu Jusi. Help, help. Your uncle is a minister in the eastern capital. The Gu family is the wealthiest in Yangzhou. My father is just a local official. Would I dare to mess with you? Now, whatever is said is all up to you to say. Gu Jusi was single-minded, loyal, and honest, so he raised his hand to swear. It is true that my uncle is a minister, but the country has its own laws. My Gu family are just merchants. How would we dare to abuse our power but Lord Wang is a minister of the current court. If you have to kneel before the Gu family, aren't you forcing us to become the target of criticism? But today, my beating, young Master Wang, is overstepping the law. It is my fault. I, Juicy, am willing to accept any punishment. But I am also my wife's husband. If my wife and my family are insulted, and I ignore it and don't ask about it, then what kind of husband am I? What kind of son am I? Jiang Ro gently called out, Juicy. I, Juicy, don't understand the complex affairs of the world. I only know that if you make a mistake, you must admit it. If you commit a crime, you must face the punishment. Today I was wrong. I apologize. Using a leg to atone for my sins. But before that, I ask you, young Master Wang, do you admit your mistake? If just saying a few words to a young woman is not considered a mistake, then I have no choice but to accept my mistake alone. Gu Jusi seemed to have reached the limit of his endurance. He was as fast as lightning, snatching the sword from the subordinate, standing nearby and swung it forcefully, making Lu Yuru's eyes widen as she screamed in panic. Gu Jusi. But suddenly a hand grabbed him, stopping Gu Jusi. Young Master Gu dares to do and dares to take responsibility. Such noble character, I, Chu, truly admire. But young Master Gu still needs to help me escort the goods. If your leg is broken, it will be very difficult for our side. Ji stepped forward, bowed, and greeted Wang Shantuan. I am Chu Yi, the adopted son of Chu Gaoling and Yuzhou. Greetings, Lord Wang. I see. How about changing the broken leg to taking 20 lashes of the whip? To vent your anger. What do you think? Wang Shantuan was surprised and replied. So it's young Master Chu. You exaggerate. Although my son is heavily injured, it is not to the point of making young Master Gu get injured too. Let's just drop this matter. Jiang Ro, standing nearby, spoke up. Lord Wang, you are too kind. A matter between children. Please do not let it harm the harmony between our two families. Wang Shantuan tilted, his head, glancing slightly at Jiang Ro. The Gu family is not pursuing my son's matter. I am extremely grateful. Since it was a misunderstanding, I will take my leave first. Then they walked away. But a loud shout made them startle and stop. It was Gu Jusi. He reminded them, heavily laced with the smell of gunpowder. You still haven't apologized to Yuru. Young Master Wang felt helpless against Gu Jusi's words. Gu Jusi. Don't go too far. You are clearly using your power to bully people. Gu Jusi's voice deepened, sharp. I am not using power to bully people. He swung his hand, the rope in his grip, making everyone present hold their breath and witness. Lu Yuru softly cried out, Juicy. He stood towering over young Master Wang, making him tremble in fear. He growled, I already said it. If you do wrong, you must admit it. Young Master Wang, do you admit you are wrong yet? His eyes clearly showed fear. Gu Jusi growled, asking again. Young Master Wang, do you admit you are wrong yet? He stubbornly didn't answer, causing Gu Jusi to swing hard, whipping while shouting loudly. 7 lashes. Young Master Wang, do you admit you are wrong yet? 11 lashes. Young Master Wang, do you admit you are wrong yet? Everyone standing and watching didn't dare to utter a single word. Only Gu Jusi's voice kept echoing. 19 lashes. Young Master Wang, do you admit you are wrong yet? Gu Jusi sneered. At this moment, Jiang Ro stepped forward. She hugged his arm tightly and begged. That's enough. Juicy, that's enough. Gu Jusi looked over, his face cold. I'm fine. I'm nearly 20, I'm a man now. Please don't be like this anymore. Others will laugh at us. Jiang Ro, with tears welling in her eyes, tried to plead, Juicy. Don't. He whipped his own back, causing blood to flow, soaking his whole back red. He relentlessly continued, 20 lashes. Young Master Wang, do you admit you are wrong yet? He stepped forward, his tone somewhat demonic. Young Master Wang, I have taken enough of the 20 lashes. Have you still not said your apology to the Gu family? Young Master Wang suddenly burst into tears. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Young madam, I'm sorry to you. I was wrong. Gu Jusi smirked in satisfaction. At this moment, his body seemed to collapse. Lu Yuru rushed over, hugging him and calling loudly, Gu Jusi, He weakly looked up at her. He apologized to you. Lu Yuru helplessly scolded, idiot.
Later, in the room, Lu Yuru was taking care of him. Juicy looked up at her, saying in a lazy tone. My back hurts today, I don't want to sleep on the floor anymore. Let's share the bed for a bit. Okay? She was attentively caring for him and agreed immediately. He unexpectedly asked. Why are you so obedient today? Are you perhaps charmed by me? Do you feel I am extremely handsome? Extremely attractive? She looked at him helplessly, replying affectionately, Gu Juicy. Who did you learn that habit of praising yourself from? Gu Juicy replied, it's all true. I have never lied before. She softly expressed her feelings. Actually, whether he apologizes or not isn't that important. In the future, you must learn to be more tactful. Don't be too straightforward. Otherwise, you will suffer losses. He quickly asked. So, are you happy? Gu Juicy took her hand, pressed it to his cheek, and said. Seeing Wang Rong scared and having to apologize to you. Were you happy even a little bit in your heart? He recounted. When we were kids, Jinsun was like you. Being bullied and not daring to utter a word. I know he lived with grievances. But it's okay. Once he is my person, I will protect him. I used to take him to deal with every bully. When he heard them apologize, he cried out of joy. Suddenly, Lu Yuru's eyes brimmed with tears, making him somewhat panicked. Why are you crying? I won't act impulsively anymore in the future. Let's put it another way. Today we beat up the Wang family. 20 lashes in exchange for a leg. We made a profit. So stop crying. Come on, give me a smile, let me see. He successfully made her laugh, lightening her heavy mood a bit. Suddenly, as if remembering something, he spoke up, oh right. With me here, what grievances do you still have? If you keep crying like this, it makes me look at you and feel like a failure. Don't tell me you want me to learn from King Yu of Zhou, lighting the beacon fires just to make you happy? She wiped her tears and smiled, answering. My heart is happy. Having someone treat me like that. I am truly happy. I just feel bad for you. He was stunned, then continuously reassured her. It's nothing. I used to fight all the time, my skin is thick. It's no problem at all. He hesitated, then poured out his heart. Can you be normal for a bit? Don't think I'm too good. You have to think like this. If it weren't for me, you would have married Yi Shan. The Yi family is so good. The Yi family is full of officials. No factions. No cliques. No matter how chaotic the world gets, they will live peacefully. As for our family, our success is because of my uncle, and our downfall will be because of my uncle. If I don't even treat you well, then your life will be miserable. Lu Yuru, I'm saying what if. I just mean what if. If one day the Gu family faces extermination, you must absolutely not do anything foolish. Surviving is more important than anything. I have already written a letter of divorce for you. Don't think I want to abandon you or break my promise. And don't think I treat you badly. I just hope you can live peacefully. A lifetime of safety. Hearing Gu Juicy say that, she fell into deep thought, contemplating. The Gu family is very good, I can't bear to leave. But if the day in my dream really comes, I am just a mortal. What can I change? I fear that I myself will really have to leave. Seeing her not responding, Gu Juicy raised his hand and flicked her forehead, startling her. He explained, I was just talking nonsense. That day will never come. My parents are very capable, don't worry. Lu Yuru rubbed her forehead and replied, I know. She stood up, walked to the table, and said, actually, what you think has some truth to it. Let's assume the worst case scenario. If it's true as you say, one day the Prince of Liang rebels. Your cousin is the Prince of Liang's concubine. And your uncle is close to the Prince of Liang. What do you think will happen next? Gu Juicy raised his hand, his face looking deep in thought. If I were my uncle, I would definitely risk my life to send the children of the family into the palace to marry some prince or princess. When the Prince of Liang rebels, I'd sit and watch the situation. Whoever wins, I would follow them. She asked. So your uncle plans to have you propose to the princess? Gu Jusi startled and retorted. Then doesn't he know in advance that the Prince of Liang will rebel? But then she approached and patted his head. It's okay, these are all just guesses. We can't take it as truth. That action made Gu Jusi jump up. Why are you rubbing my head? Is it for petting? Lu Yuru playfully enjoyed it. Your hair is smooth. It feels nice to touch. He acted sulky. Why don't you know any restraint? A man's head cannot be rubbed casually. She covered her mouth and laughed. But you are my husband. The next day, while strolling in the garden, Lu Yuru had a pensive look, her heart full of thoughts. Gu Jusi has early on invited Mr. Wang to come and lecture on the world situation. I fear he also understands that taking the imperial examination now is too late. So he must first learn the most crucial things. Although we joked last night, in Gu Jusi's heart, he has probably made a decision. Approaching the door, she already heard Gu Jusi's voice. Mr. Wang knowing is still not enough. Listen to me. Investigate all the names, backgrounds, and temperaments of the officials in the 13 provinces. Then give it to me. Understood? The subordinate bowed and answered, yes, young master. Lu Yuru walked in. Seeing her, Gu Jusi immediately changed his expression and asked, weren't you planning to stay and have breakfast with my parents? Why are you back so early? Didn't my mother keep you to talk a bit more? Lu Yuru smiled and replied, Father and mother are worried about your injuries. So they told me to come back early to keep you company. She sat down. Gu Jusi quickly poured tea and offered her a cup. She recounted, father and mother discussed it. Now Wang Shantuan doing this is clearly targeting your uncle. We can't be sure who is pulling the strings behind the scenes yet. If the Gu family stays in Yangzhou, I'm afraid there will be risks. Father and mother plan to scout ahead in the 13 provinces and slowly transfer our assets there. At the fastest, it will be 1 or 2 months. At the slowest, half a year. We must prepare early. Hearing that, he replied, yeah, mother is still the one who thinks thoroughly. She glanced and asked, couldn't it be father who thought of it? Gu Jusi took a sip of tea and answered firmly, impossible. How could that old man be as meticulous as my mother? This time, it's lucky he didn't sacrifice his own kin for the sake of righteousness. She scolded, you're speaking nonsense. How can you think so badly of your father? I heard both your parents love you very much. Gu Jusi's face darkened. People are really strange. Whenever they see someone with a stubborn temper, they immediately assume it's because their parents spoiled them. Many people think, if a child is disobedient, just give them a beating. If they do wrong, it must be because the beating wasn't hard enough. I hate that mindset. The more I'm beaten, the more I have to rebel. It only makes the rumors outside say when I was young and weak, I was beaten by him every time. Mother had to risk her life to stop him. The house was always in an uproar. Lu Yuru was surprised, then quickly asked, then why didn't you just obediently go and get it over with? Are you stupid? If he beats you, and you obey once, he will think it works. The next time anything happens, he'll just resort to beating. Do you know why everyone in the world has that mindset? It's because children who are beaten just endure it, which makes adults do it even more. Do you know why youth are always rebellious? Because deep in our bones, we have something we want to say. We want to teach them back using our own methods. Beating me is useless. I can only improve myself. Absolutely not because you force me. Lu Yuru was surprised by Gu Jusi's way of thinking and exclaimed, your thoughts sound a bit weird, but they do make quite a bit of sense. He looked proud. I've always made sense. Then she hesitated and asked, but if beating you is useless, then why, when you were forced by me to return from Chunfeng brothel, did you agree to study? He briefly avoided her gaze. Wasn't it because I felt guilty towards you? I was afraid I'd anger you to death. I'm not afraid of blood. With my skills at the Chunfeng brothel, if we had to fight, resulting in casualties for either side, it definitely wouldn't be me. But I was afraid of your stubbornness. That you'd really hang yourself in front of my house.
looking at his face. And hearing his words stirred something in Luyuru's heart. For some reason. Looking at Gujisi right in front of me. I suddenly remembered the saying, a gentleman can be deceived by plausible reasons, but cannot be fooled by what is contrary to reason. In my short 15 years of life, the men I've met, including the disciples of the Yi family known for their strictness,